Paper Mario game is a game where cute little guys are just absolute bitches to you. Did you see the Pizza Cat's news?
Yes.
Oh boy. So yeah, we are recording this on the day of.
I'm not usually concerned with talking about current events, but like Pizza Cats is always current.
Wait, so are we all? Do we all know? Pizza Cats?
Independently, Izzy was like, yeah. Did you hear about Pizza Cats?
Are you kidding me? All right.
I mean, it was all over Blue Sky today, so like, I was definitely guaranteed to see it. But yeah, I don't know how long it's been kind of in the works, but like it seemed like it just kind of dropped out of nowhere. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I woke up to it, and I remember people, like 3 people separately sending this to me. Kyle was the first one, and I was like,
hell yeah,
kind of half awake going, is this real? and hearing the voice acting and being like, oh my goodness, they sound exactly the same. What happened? Like, this better not be some AI shenanigans shit. So I started getting all skeptical about it and like looking more up. And the more I looked into it, the more excited I got, because it's like all very, I don't know, it wants to look like the show, I guess, and it does a good job of that.
Yeah, so I said like all caps, like because it's a Goemon like.
Yeah, and then it's not the other thing I was afraid of is it was gonna be another like I'm gonna coin this term now, the old millennial beat 'em up. Where it's like, oh, here's a dead IP. How do we revive it? Make a beat 'em up game.
No, it looks very earnestly like it knows what it.
Yeah, exactly. So
be.
I was just like, all my skeptical flags were coming off it, but I'm like, no, this is cool. Like, I saw a making of, and they're like actually hand drawing all these characters, and I'm like, crap, this is nice. Like, I'm into this. So yeah, I'm glad y'all know what Pizza Cats is.
Yeah, no, it's like the single greatest union of Japan and Italy ever.
It's such a great like show too, just like the history of how the dub just kind of disregarded everything and just kind of made its own identity.
It's so.
What's funny too is like I didn't intimately watch it. I just knew it was a thing. I knew it was a silly little show, and I'd seen clips. But like, I wonder how that holds up compared to something like Ghost Stories or Shin-Chan, because I think Ghost Stories, like I rewatched some of that, the dub, it's rough.
No, that one's very much a product of its time. I feel like Pizza Cats holds up better because it's more fourth wall humor instead of like, and some of it is topical, but like the same way Looney Tunes was topical, like.
Yeah.
They make jokes of like celebrities that were already not relevant like 10 years after. So it holds up. I want to get my friends into it because like they also know that I like it, and they showed me the announcement trailer. I'm like, yo, I have this on DVD. We should watch the dub. It's great. I think it holds up personally.
It probably also just by virtue of being cuter and just kind of more charming. I
love those designs so much. They have that. They scratch the Mega Man X itch for me.
You're just a Mega Man slut.
It is very Mega Man.
Yeah, it's very coded. Like it's anthro, but like they're all robots for some reason. I just love that.
Yeah, I was watching the trailer. I kept thinking like, wait, are they supposed to be robots or like actual cats?
Yeah, no, they're all like everyone has mech parts. One of the running gags is the sweetheart next door neighbor I forgot her name. She's like a ram. She's really cute. But her running gag is like she gets mad at Speedy and her hair opens up and it's like a missile barrage that comes out of it, and just everyone blows up, and she just does that casually. It's great.
What I hope is that this opens up like a new meta in the furry community, so that everyone has to pick an animal and also a cuisine.
I thought you were going to say a robot, and I was like, Protogen's already got that covered, but yeah, the cuisine part, yeah, we really need to get on that.
Well, anyways, welcome to Brain Lords, Video Games of the Mind, a panel-style discussion between artists and the art they love. I'm your co-host, Kyle.
And I'm Jorge.
And this is our first episode with a special guest. Introduce yourself, Izzy.
Hi, I'm Izzy, also known as Oceanity Online. I'd say I'm a streamer, but I haven't streamed in several months.
Same.
I don't know. I do all sorts of things. But yeah, it's nice to be here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Izzy
Welcome to our show.
He's a longtime friend of mine, but also is a specialist on the topic we have for tonight. So
Oh,
why don't we
boy.
just jump straight into it? Our topic today, tonight, and whenever this is hitting your eardrums is... Does the perfect Paper Mario exist?
Ooh, I wonder.
So yeah, no, I've got some good energy just going into this. Why don't we just get rolling? And
Me too.
jotted down some notes on the history of Paper Mario, and I thought it would be refreshing to go through that.
Thank you. Yes.
So we have the history of Paper Mario does not start with Paper Mario. It starts with Mario RPG. It is in 1996 for the Super Nintendo. That game is a co-joint between Nintendo and Squaresoft, not yet Square Enix.
Oh yeah.
It's designed as an introductory RPG, and it sells over 2 million units. They break off, and Paper Mario RPG 2 was in development. It gets changed to Mario Story, aka Paper Mario. Its concept was conceived after a mock-up showed 2D sprites on a 3D background, and that was applied to a storybook aesthetic. The development was for over 4 years, and it sold 1.3 million copies, which for a late N64 game
That's
is pretty
not
good.
bad. Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember seeing I remember seeing screenshots for Super Mario RPG Part 2 in Nintendo Power, and it was like Paper Mario, but it was like titled. Actually, no, it might have not been Nintendo Power. It might have been like Ultra Gamers or Game Pro, some other magazine. But I remember being hyped, like as a kid, like, oh crap, they're making another one. That looks different. Whoa.
Mm-hmm. So then next we have the Thousand Year Door, which was in 2004. Originally it was pitched as a sort of a tech demo for getting a large number of characters on screen. There wasn't... I will say I tried to research this to the best of my ability, but this is shorthand and I'm kind of rapid fire through it, so there may be some things where I'm not quite quoting things correctly, but to my knowledge, I want to say that Miyamoto wasn't as interested until the idea of pitching like, no, if we do 2D sprites, we can get a huge number of things on screen, and that was something they were wanting to push with the GameCube.
That tracks a little bit, because Pikmin was kind of the same approach, where it's like, how many moving objects can we have on screen to really show off what the GameCube can do?
And obviously Paper Mario, like, since they're not full 3D models, it's a lot easier for them to do that. And that's why you have stuff like the Punies. Think about how many moments in that game are you being swarmed and hitting like 80 guys with a hammer at once.
Literally the first scene of the game is X-Nauts just diving on you.
And then, so that does pretty well as well. It's 1.9 million sales.
Goodness.
Later we have Super Paper Mario, which was, I didn't write the date, I believe it was 2008 or 2007. But it was developed as a late GameCube game, but then later transitioned to a Wii game.
Really?
Originally, it was going to have RPG combat, but the dev team was more interested in exploring the like 2D, 3D platforming ideas.
Do you think that happened because of like the Bowser sections in Thousand Year Door?
Maybe, yeah. That's not a bad guess if they were playing with that space already. This I was surprised to see, but the Wii sold a lot of consoles, but Super Paper Mario sold 4 million units.
What the? That's 4 times?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's the best-selling one by far.
What the? I would not have known that.
That's crazy, but like, it definitely was assisted by the Wii just being such a blowout success.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Just large user base. Everyone, literally and their mother had a Wii.
Yeah, and also going back a little bit for reference, like Mario RPG and Paper Mario have pretty glowing reviews of like a lot of the news at the time. Thousand Year Door has like very slightly less good reviews, but like it's still extremely glowing.
Okay.
And then Super is the first time it took a small tick down, but was overall very positive. Like I think people mostly got that if you weren't expecting an RPG turn-based game, like it was still a very solid, fun experimental platformer.
Yeah,
and
it's
even back then,
like,
people were praising the story.
Yeah, I remember I skipped Super Paper Mario because I found out it wasn't turn-based. So it's surprising to me that a lot of people didn't think that way. They just, it's like, it's Paper Mario, let me play it, and it sold better than Thousand Year Door.
Well, I think it being a 2D Mario, like, probably made a lot of people more comfortable trying it out.
Oh, I see. So I just brought in like the new players easier.
Yeah.
That one was a rental for me, and I got through it in one rental period because it was decently short compared to the other ones, but like it was still definitely worth playing. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like that one's had the biggest critical reappraisal too, but we can get into that later.
Oh yeah.
So after Super is Sticker Star in 2012 for the 3DS.
I play Sticker Star.
I'm sorry. No, it's not. It's not
I appreciate it. It's all right. It's very okay. That's actually the problem I had with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one is notorious because it started out as it might have been maybe a remake of the Thousand Year Door on 3DS, and then later became a more traditional Paper Mario game. But there was a pretty known interview where Miyamoto had said that he wanted it to have less story and be more of a novel gimmick. Not those words verbatim, but the point is it was streamlined a lot more to do its own thing.
It sure was, yeah. It played a lot more with concepts of paper, which I think the best thing I can say. Actually, let's not get into that yet. You're still getting through this. Sorry.
That's okay. So we'll do our personal history with Paper Mario after this.
Of course,
so, After this, our specialist Oceanity can attest to this. Color Splash came out in 2006. Do you know how many units Color Splash sold?
I want to know.
Any guesses?
I assume a lot less than Superstar. Super Paper.
Did I say Sticker Star was 2.5 million?
That's
I'm just surprised on that. Yeah.
I think just a lot of people had 3DSs, so
it was the same as the Wii in a lot of ways in that regard.
Okay.
So Color Splash, 800K.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
the
not only
dip.
that, but that game came out like right after they announced the Switch too.
Oh. Was it?
There was a lot of
really
stuff
a
working
launch
against
title?
that.
Was it like a couple months later?
I think it was a while actually after the launch of the Wii U.
It was really late into the console.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like one of the last major games actually.
Yeah, because that's when you showed me that game when we were living together in Texas.
Yep.
After Color Splash was Origami King in 2020. That sold 3.5 million units. Actually did quite well.
So we're back up. We're back up, everybody.
It's
okay.
That one also probably was bolstered by the fact that it was a COVID game.
I see.
And in fact, that was originally going to be announced at that year's E3, and instead Nintendo just dropped it on Twitter. Which has a much different ring these days. But yeah, wild that it's just like, here's our game. Like, we can't demo it, so like, did you know there's a new Paper Mario coming out? Cool. Now you do.
I have a question.
That seems to be the new vogue for like dropping games, though. So like, I can't blame them too much.
Yeah.
Like,
true. We just talked. I'll get to it. But yeah, we were just talking about a game that got stealth revealed this morning. So yeah, that is just
I can't
normal
say
now.
like it's the wrong choice. You're right.
Yeah, but anyway, I was gonna ask, like, is the Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi crossover in your list at all?
It's not, but that came out mostly because I got tired of typing and I didn't want to have to do all the Mario
that's fair.
Superstar Saga games.
No, we don't gotta go into that. No.
Because technically it's Mario and Luigi is the name of the series, but
But
yeah, that
Mario's
one I guess
in
does
there.
technically count as a paper game.
Okay,
the Paper Mario, Paper Jam, I believe is the name. And I think, was that DS or 3DS?
That was 3DS, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
That was 3DS, yeah.
So I think that came out after Sticker Star, but before Color Splash.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. That I don't know.
Actually, it might have been after Color Splash, because like I kind of remember it maybe getting rebuilt after that.
Okay. Well, feel free to look that up. But continuing onward.
I'll look nothing up.
After Origami King, we have Mario RPG Remake in 2023, and since as of I want to say December, that sold 3.1 million units.
Izzy, we have a running gag in this show. We call Mario RPG a very underrated game. Maybe Kyle can explain that joke
let
later.
me say one more thing, and then that reminds me. But and then finally we have a Thousand Year Door remake, which was 2024 and has since sold 2 million units, which means it has actually surpassed Thousand Year Door 2004. So
no kidding.
Well,
nice.
For them.
We'd love to hear it.
Let's go, Paper Mario!
Yeah. So I guess before we get into our personal histories, I think Izzy is a good way to introduce yourself. We have kind of a bit on the show about overrated, underrated, and adequately rated games. So Izzy, just of the moment, what is your most overrated game? What is your most underrated game? And what is your most adequately rated game?
Oh God, that's tough. I've been like,
whatever comes to mind. This is rapid fire.
Like I've been kind of sucked in the Balatro zone the past several months, so I have been like completely voided. I've been voided from like so many other games right now. God, what has come out?
It doesn't have to be recent. For reference, I think when we were talking about it,
okay.
My most overrated game was Rebirth. My most underrated game was Pyre. And my most adequately rated game was Katamari Damacy.
That does cover a wide scope, so I apologize if you putting you on the spot.
I know, like I might have to think about this for a second.
Yeah, we can save it for the end. You can just have like the show.
It'll have to be like running in the background. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, how about this? I'll make it easier. I was gonna do this later, but what is the most overrated, underrated, and adequately rated Mario RPG? And you can pick from any of them.
Okay, I would say, I feel like one of the most overrated. God, even this one feels hard because, like, I mean, the bad ones typically are not really that well reviewed. Yeah, I wouldn't even say that.
Going through the list, all the bad ones, quote unquote, are still like 7 out of 10s. Like they're fine.
I guess that's true. Well, Sticker Star is the most overrated Mario RPG.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm throwing down.
Fire, oh my god.
Nah, let's go. You're among friends. That was my pick.
I was so disappointed. I bought that game with my own money.
The nice thing I will say is it's a good speed game.
I actually never finished it. I got pretty close, I bet. Because, like, it just got way too samey at a certain point. I was just like, I could be playing other things.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you know how to skip through large portions of the game, and like it's all about like, down to the wire resource management, the speedrun is really good. But playing
apparently,
like
Paper Mario 1 is similar in that regard. You can do a lot of skipping in that game, but yeah, I'd say underrated. I would still say Thousand Year Door probably because like I think that one, it had all the resources to do better when it first came out, and it just didn't because like. I don't know. And I feel like if it had done better, maybe Nintendo would have not dropped a nuke on the direction of the franchise. But still. And I'd say the first one probably would be the middle of the road. Like, it's still really good. But, like, when I revisited it for the stream, like, there were a lot of points where I was like, Thousand Year Door just kind of did this, but better. So, like, wow. I don't know.
Yeah, that's I think I would definitely agree with you that like I think that most people tend to just agree that like the original Paper Mario is just really solid. I think for me, honestly, actually, I'm a lot different from you. I would say that the Thousand Year Door is the most overrated, but that's more you were talking about like in terms of how Nintendo views it. And
me, just the general public, yeah. I think. But, like, yeah.
For me, I feel like the fan base, the people who love that one, are so fervent about that, and revisiting it, we'll talk about this later.
That's true.
I feel like there's a lot of things that do not hold up in that game. Even though I agree it's still, like, the combat is phenomenal, the writing is great, like, a lot of the design, like, it's an amazing game. It's a 10 out of 10 game. But I feel like people maybe overlook the things in that game that do not hold up.
Yeah.
And then underrated for me, I think it's hard to say because I think Super has finally come to like people are finally talking about that one as like better than people gave it credit for when it came out.
Yeah.
You got any input on this, Jorge?
On what specifically?
Just over, under, and adequately rated Mario
it's
RPGs.
My turn. It's my turn, everybody. Get out the way. The thing is, like, I unfortunately have only played like half of these games. I missed out on Super Paper Mario and Paint Splash. Am I getting that right?
Color Splash.
Bucket Splash. And the last one, Origami King. Like, I've not touched those games, and unfortunately, it's because Sticker Star just kind of threw me out of that series. Honestly,
that's right. Actually, so, I will say, I think Origami King. I might change my answer. I think Origami King might be the most underrated because
you are like the biggest defender I know of that game. So
I don't think it's a great game
either.
But I do think it's better than a lot of people give it credit for.
Every screenshot I've seen of Origami King makes me go like, man, we could be having a new Paper Mario. and it should look like this. Like, it looks the right way, but it just plays like a whatever thing. I don't know. Anyway, I would say most overrated. I'm kind of tied between Sticker Star and the remake for Thousand Year Door. Even though, like, I want to be nice to Thousand Year Door because I know it's like a lot of people's favorite, and it's not. It doesn't deserve, like, just the little things I nitpick doesn't deserve it getting like a low spot. But then, yeah, it's kind of tied in there because I played the remake and I just kind of didn't want to finish it, you know? I don't know if I was fatigued from, like, having marathon the original Paper Mario right before it. But there was a point where I'm, like, in the first dungeon. Actually, I think it's the second one. And I'm just, like, in this empty hallway. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. Like,
to be fair, the puny section is rough.
Yeah. And every level is just go from left to right. And I don't know, it just took me out. Even though I love the character designs, I love the setting, the music is amazing. And yeah, like the gags are there, the hee-hees and the ha-has are there. Yeah, that would be it. But then for what's the other one? Wait, I was saying overrated. Now underrated. I honestly think it's Paper Mario, the original. Even though now that you've given me the actual review scores of these games, maybe it was adequately rated and it should go firmly in that last spot, which I think we're all going to agree with. So if I were to pick another one for underrated, it might be, even though I never played it, I feel like I would like Super Paper Mario a lot if I actually gave it a shot, because everything I see about it, like, it's Paper Mario and everything but the RPG-ness of it, because it has the unique characters, it has, like, the funny offbeat story, it has that Luigi superhero guy. He looks cool. So it like, if all of these elements were in an RPG setting, I would have loved the crap out of this game, you know what I mean? So maybe that one is my vote. And then, yeah, adequately rated, I would say Paper Mario, the original. I just replayed it last year, and I had a blast. It made me feel the good stuff. So
yeah, well, this is as good as a segue as ever. But why don't we talk about our personal histories with Paper Mario and Mario RPG series? Izzy, why don't you start?
Please.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So I did start on Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. I never owned it, but a friend of mine, like, had beaten it twice over and was just like, yeah, you could just kind of borrow my copy. So I got to play through it. And, like, I was never really an RPG person growing up. Like, it was probably the ADHD that I was dealing with without realizing what it was.
Oh, no.
But I could not finish long-form story games. Like, it was just not something I could do. But something about, like, the simplicity and just the kind of, like, pacing of Mario RPG really helped me kind of get through it.
And I think it really gave me... It's incredible pacing.
Yeah.
Like, even as an adult.
Like, it just feels like it's always going on to the next beat. You're not really stuck too long in any one place.
It gets to the point.
Like, there may be a few parts that are a little, you know, but but yeah, like that kind of also opened my eyes to things like Earthbound and things like Final Fantasy, which I had not really given a fair shake prior. Because like I would just be like, oh, there's so much dialogue. Why am I doing this? But it was like, finally having an RPG that I actually enjoyed. I was like, actually, you know what? No, I should, give these more of a chance. And I'm glad I did because, of course, Earthbound became a whole thing with me.
Oh wait, you love Earthbound?
But yeah,
too?
Then I love Earthbound.
Damn, let's go.
Mother 3 will come to the West someday. Just
let's go.
But anyway.
I know we said you're among friends, but you don't need to cope that hard. It's okay.
No, yeah. I'm past the cope. I'm already like in the acceptance phase. But
literally yesterday, Jorge messages me and he's like, "So what is the deal with Silk Song anyway?" And I had to explain to him like, "It's not good. People just really want this game."
He's like, okay, yeah. Mother 3, but I was like, oh, all right.
Anyways.
Look, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 got re-released. Anything is possible at this point in time.
That is wild, yeah. But no, Izzy, what you were saying though, I think that's kind of amazing because that literally was the intent of Mario RPG, was being an easy entry point for RPGs.
That's awesome. See, I didn't even know if that was the mission statement, but it definitely achieved that with flying colors. Yeah, because
it was in a positive. I mean this in a positive way. It was supposed to be baby's first RPG. But even I loved it. Like, I'm sorry, this is not about me. Oh, go on.
Yeah. Why don't you keep going, Izzy? That was your first major RPG, and that got you into a love of the genre.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when Paper Mario came out, and like I saw that it was just another, Mario RPG, and like it was kind of similar in some ways, I was like, well, got to get on that as soon as possible. And like, I didn't actually buy it when it came out, or like, I didn't get it when it came out. It was like what, 96. 95? I don't even remember, but like
6 was RPG and then 2000 was
God, my sense of time is just gone. But like we got a secondhand copy finally, like I'd say a year or two after it came out, and like I was hooked nonstop on that game. It was just another thing where I just could not stop playing it until I was done, even with like silly stuff like the cake mini game kind of frustrating me. Which Nintendo seems to always have at least one thing. Yeah, I know it's more intelligent systems, whatever, but like there's always that one bit where it's just like, why do you have this in here?
I mean, intelligent
the waterfall and Earthbound, like
they're like a second party for Nintendo, realistically.
Yeah. Weird gimmicks.
So yeah, because you've pretty much always had Nintendo consoles growing up.
Yeah, I was exclusively a Nintendo kid growing up. I did not own a PlayStation. I didn't own any other like company's console until the Xbox One, and like
wow,
I don't even remember when I got it, but I got it late in its life cycle too.
Quite the skip too. Like you didn't even get a PlayStation.
And like I never complained because like I always had friends that had the other one, so it's never like an issue of I'm missing out. It's just like, hey, we've always been getting Nintendo stuff. We're liking it, so why not?
Not to say, like, I would usually be like, I had the PS2, so we would play that, and then you'd be like, yo, you need to check out Chibi Robo like right now.
Wow, I wish someone in my life told me to check out Chibi Robo when it came out.
Mm-hmm. Or no, sorry,
it was check out the.
You had Chibi Robo, but no,
I did have Chibi Robo.
I was thinking of the.
It's the best.
It's the tiny robot battling game.
Oh, Custom Robo.
Custom Robo.
Yeah.
Which,
we played that.
Love that one.
That game was so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's so dope.
Not to go too off topic, but like, did y'all see the Chibi Robo devs had a Kickstarter up?
Really?
I actually did not see that. What?
That's great.
I think it succeeded. I will look that up on the side.
I
but
can't
yeah.
wait to divorce another family.
Serious?
No, you're saving them. Chibi Robo helps them.
Co-Robo.
So obviously then you're primed to just like to get 1,000 Year Door day one, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yes. I got that game super quick. And I have to say, like, there are a lot of games around that era, because obviously, jump from N64 to GameCube was quite substantial in terms of a lot of, power, graphics, whatever. But, like, the world that they throw you face first into in Thousand Year Door was definitely one of those things where I was just like immediately captivated.
No, like, it's a well thought out world.
Mm-hmm. But so like Mario characters just like mugging each other. Like
that was the other wild thing, is it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
There's a noose. It implies people get hung.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Playboy bunny in that game. Like, they catcall you.
Oh my god. Yeah, me and Kyle, when the game came out, me and Kyle were kind of reminiscing on when the remake came out. We were like, this game was kind of mean.
Oh yeah, that's something I'll get into later. But that game, like, it is a little darker. It's a little edgier. It's also a cruel game, especially if you replay the original.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so
also, I was just gonna say I dropped the link for the Chibi-Robo thing.
Thank
in the
you. I will check
channel.
that out. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it blew past its goal. So
that's good. Well, I'll have to check that out.
We all trust Kickstarter games, right? We do. We do. That's an old joke.
One of these days I'll get Radio the Universe, but today is not that day. So, then obviously Super comes out. And did you say you got that one?
So I rented that one, and
that's right.
I think I did rent it pretty soon after it had kind of dropped, but it was definitely around the time. Like, I was definitely one of the people who was like, oh, but I kind of like the RPG though. But like, I remember enjoying it quite a bit when I rented it though. Like, it was definitely something I definitely was glad I played through. Yeah, but like at the end of it, I was like, I didn't really feel like I needed to own it because I was like, oh, I just beat it in one go.
I owned it. I don't think I finished it for I got 80-90% of the way through, and then I didn't finish it for like years because it just it's a lot of back and forth in that game.
Mm-hmm.
The bits and the gimmicks in that game are incredible, but a lot of that game is just sort of like walking back and forth and talking to the same NPC.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you play? Like, obviously you played Color Splash, but did you do Sticker Star?
I bought Sticker Star with my own money, and definitely one of those purchases that you just. I mean, I enjoyed it for the first bit, although like I was immediately turned off by the mechanics because I was just like, why is there an inventory system?
Yeah, that's the thing I think we'll start getting into is like to be a Mario RPG fan is to like constantly be like, maybe this time they'll do the thing that I actually played the series for.
They're gonna hold that football down, and I am going to kick it.
It's a paper football. It's really funny.
Sticker Star is when that shit started too. It's like,
cool. Like the inklings of it were super. People were a little sad, but then they got over it because the game was solid enough.
When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh crap, they're bringing back RPG battles and shit, and they got me. They got me.
Yeah, because that's the thing. At least Super wasn't trying to like. It was a platformer with RPG elements, and that was kind of cool. But it wasn't trying to be an RPG.
But there were like leaks of like partners in the Sticker Star at one point, right? Like I remember there was like a Chain Chomp.
Yeah, that was an early concept before it got turned into whatever.
Sticker Star.
Into nothing. Yeah.
The stickerification of Paper Mario.
Now, I'm surprised that you didn't say that Color Splash was the most underrated, because you were actually defending that and saying it was all right.
I did so I didn't beat it, but I did get I think 2-3 chapters in, and it was pretty nice because it had the same not great mechanics, but boy did it have a lot of charm, and it kind of was trying to meet in the middle, I felt, between the original two and the new ones, and I respected that. It still wasn't what I wanted out of the series, but it was still something where I was like, this is making me laugh, and that is something Sticker Star never was able to do. So
yeah, Color Splash, I think, for people that do talk about it, is known for having a pretty solid localization, because after Sticker Star, that was when they started not being able to do original characters for whatever reason. But then why Color Splash works is because one of its bits is that it makes fun of the fact that all the Toads look the same. So that it runs dry a little bit, but they do something with it.
Wait, what do you mean they couldn't do it anymore?
Nintendo literally mandated it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
like,
I think basically because of like rights and things like that and merchandising or like confusing like people, they wanted it to where if it's a Mario like mainline or mainline adjacent thing, you can't make your own characters. You can't put
What?
Toad in a silly little hat and make a new Toad that might confuse people.
This is the best kind of Toad.
I don't know if it's because they want to reinforce things like stuff that's going to be in their parks, or they want it to tie back more to Mario. They don't want Intelligent Systems to have like a Geno situation. I don't know. But
they might have just seen the Ken Pender situation and been like, oh, we're nipping this in the bud before it becomes an issue.
It doesn't have to be that malicious. They can be like, look, just use, like, we have all these characters. Why can't you just make something interesting out of this?
That's the last comparison I was expecting to hear tonight. Oh my god. It's like it's the Kid in a Lore equivalent of Paper Mario.
I bet Ken Pender's just real jazzed about Pizza Cats coming back.
Oh god.
Is he?
I don't know.
Alright.
But yeah, so Color Splash was just better than it had any right to be. And then Origami King, like I went in with no expectations. I will be direct and say that I had a friend that worked on localizing that, so I was inclined to check it out. And obviously, I'm going to like that someone I care about did work on that game, but and was part of the team that helped. You know, it's a large effort, but like that game I think was a lot better than it had any right to be, and especially like the writing, again, extremely biased, but they do some really interesting things with like writing. Did you ever get around to Origami King, Izzy?
I got into it and I need to finish it. Like, it's one of those, like, I have to say, the last, like, 3 to 4 years, I've had so many bad commitments with games just because, like, there's been a tidal wave of things that are, like, actually worth checking out, coming out just nonstop recently. I don't know what it is.
Oh,
it has been...
Last year was, like, Indie-pocalypse. There were so many good games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, like, I only have so much time, y'all. And, like, it didn't help that there were a couple more... I wouldn't even say live servicey, but kind of more, like, games that wanted me to spend more time in them that, like, I kind of got into, like the Cinders and now Balatro, and it's just like I really would love to get to these games that have story and like a lot of heart put into them, but no, I'm gonna play the 100th run of this roguelite that I've gotten addicted to.
Look, I will also be the first to like White Knight Origami King and also tell people that the way you should play that game is ignore all of the combat you can. Like avoid every single combat possible.
Wow.
Because you'll still be swimming in coins. And then it becomes a fun game of try to not do the fights. Because then when you get forced to, you only have to do like, I don't know, 10 or so per chapter.
Oh, so it's like a Metal Gear Solid game. Is what
exactly. And then obviously I think like I got Mario RPG Remake. Jorge, I know you got that. And then
I was in my
I really need to get that.
Yeah, I have not gotten the remakes.
It's on my list. I have seen streams of it. And it looks amazing, and I really just want to play through it because I think I will enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, they're both very solid. Like they're very faithful. You know, we could talk about the Thousand Year Door remake more specifically in a bit, but like no, they're good. As much as I you know, the preservationist in me would prefer that they just elevate the originals and just really re-release those in a way that inclines people to engage with them on that level. If there's no other way to have it, if this is the way that works for Nintendo, you know what? They're at least releasing quality products. So,
well, like, why not both? Honestly, like there are so many cases where like games have had like, you know, upgraded ports and whatever.
Put it on the
like,
disc.
Bonus, yeah. And the bonus is you get to play the old one that's on there too, and it's like that's awesome because you get to compare and like contrast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know why that, because like it wouldn't take that much to do. They've got the infrastructure to emulate, like
seriously.
I don't know.
It is odd because like Square is pretty good about preserving their like mainline Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah, one of the better ones at like doing it, frankly.
Recently, yes, not
yeah.
always,
Oh yeah,
yeah. But like the Pixel remasters, I've been consistently impressed with how faithful they are, even though they they are remakes, in my opinion, they still do maintain the Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster brought back the old MP system. That was very important for me as a fan of that game. Like, that kind of shit is what I want. It's like, yeah, elevate it, like you said, Kyle, elevate the original, but like make it new enough for like people to get back into and accessible. You know, that's really the point, is to make it accessible.
Yeah. I always feel bad because, like, I've heard the argument on, like, the Nintendo drip feeding stuff as, like, if they didn't do that, if it was just the fire hose was open, nothing would be special. And I get that argument, but, like, it also feels so defeatist. Like, you can't, there's no way for you to figure out how to, like, hey, this month is Dr. Mario month, and we're gonna, you have to
seriously
hold these things hostage in order to make them special. Like,
yeah, and especially after we've already had like the Virtual Console, which was robust by the time the Wii was like done.
They were really good at putting Paper Mario on Virtual Console, so I bought that game at least like 3 or 4 times.
I mean every game in general. Like, I don't know if you remember, the Virtual Console had like Genesis Turbo Graphics, Neo Geo. Like, this shit was. By the time it was over, it was like an actual library, like the kind of thing we should have now. And now we're back into like square one, you know, like with every new console, I feel like we go back to square one. I think that's the frustration.
Well, we're bitching about preservation, but Jorge, do you, I guess, have anything to add with your personal history with Mario RPGs?
Yeah, I'll try to be brief, and I guess I can because like I said, I didn't play all of them. Like everybody here, I started with Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo. That was a rental for me. I remember it came out at the right place, right time, because I had just gotten into RPGs as a genre. Like, I played Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 4 in Japan, over and over. I would rent that game as many times as I could. I would rent Breath of Fire 2. So when Mario RPG came out, to me that was like, oh crap. It's like Mario but Final Fantasy. In my head, I actually put this together. When I turn it on, it says Square. I'm like, oh crap, Squaresoft worked on this. Holy crap! Like, this game blew my mind. And like, I remember for the first time playing like a turn-based RPG and feeling like excited to be in a battle. Like, looking forward to like getting the time hits right, seeing all the funny animations, hearing that really good battle theme. Like,
oh, so good.
Yeah, I know.
The music in that game is so
I would put
that
game on just to hear the song from the Splash, the title.
It was so different to me because before that, my experience was like the high fantasies RPGs, and you get the epic battle theme, which is still cool. But for this, it was like, it's cute, it's catchy, it's like uplifting. I don't know. There was something exciting about going into a fight, and I remember.
No, you put that sound that original song on, and you're like, I am going on an adventure.
Oh, the intro, yeah. Everything about it just hit right, and then having that like the world of Mario and telling a new story with that was also just, to me, like a fresh thing. I really, really loved it. And of course, they, fast forward to Paper Mario gets announced. I see it in a magazine. I see screenshots. It looks different, but I'm like, hey, because at the time it was like Mario RPG 2. I'm like, oh crap, let's go. N64 Mario RPG looks different, but it's fine. We'll play it. Sorry. And then I get it, and I'm a little disappointed at first because, it's like, oh, this is a little more cutesy. It's a little more simplistic. I'm doing 1 and 2 damage. That's not fun because, at the time I'm like, I don't know if you know this about me, but like I was a one console family kid, so I had the choice between PlayStation and N64, and I went with N64 because I remember one of the Ultra Game players back then had a list of upcoming N64 games, and one of them was Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
So I told my parents for Christmas I want an N64. I've decided I don't want a PlayStation. And I was also...
Luckily, there were so many other RPGs on the N64.
Listen, that's what I was getting into. The thing is,
Quest 64 and...
It's literally like the 5th best RPG by nature of being like the only RPG on that.
In the US, we had 3 RPGs on the N64. The thing is, Final Fantasy VII was not one of them. I remember I also had console wars brain rot at the time, so I was like, fuck the PS1, discs are stupid, Crash Bandicoot sucks, all the edgy things teenagers say. And then finally I get an N64, and yes, fast forward to Paper Mario being like the only RPG.
To be fair, that is one of the better RPGs of all time.
It is. But then compared to like the PS1, which like all my friends had, I was like, I feel like the sucker here. So it took me a while to like warm up to it, but the longer I played it, I remember it's always, and this happened to me replaying it again. It's always at the desert where it clicks. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, that yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's always when I get to the desert,
the seatbelt's off, or like the training wheels are off on that game.
And you start getting the interesting badges, you start being able to combine them. That's when it's like, oh, you know what? This is cool. Like I'm into this now. And I remember that's when I was like, all right, I'm in the ride. I'm in it for the ride. I rented it too. I got pretty far. I can't remember if I beat it though, but that was a rental for me. I never actually bought. Again, like we were a one console family. I couldn't really afford a lot of games, so most of the games I played were rentals. And yeah, then after that, we go to the GameCube, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. That was another rental for me. Back then, didn't really click. Like, I thought it was good, but I can hardly remember anything that happened in it. It wasn't until I started collecting games again that I gave it another chance. And then that's when I got Margot to play, and my wife, and she was like really enjoying it. I was just watching her play the whole time. Then I skipped Super Paper Mario because, again, I saw it and it was like, oh, this is like a platformer. This isn't like an RPG. And that kind of disappointed me. So I dismissed it, unfortunately. And at the time, too, I was kind of going through a shift in like the kind of games I like. I wasn't really playing a lot of like the more simple stuff. I kind of, that was like when I was getting into like, no, I want like big games. I want like Metroid Prime 3. Like, that's another story. We don't have to get into that. But like, then after that, 3DS comes out, Sticker Star comes out, trailers come out. I'm like, shit, we're back, Paper Mario, baby. This is the turn-based shit I want. I bought the game, pre-ordered it day one.
No.
I start playing it, and I'm like, every Toad looks the same. There's no party members. This is like, I actually played it from start to finish. Like, I actually beat the game because I was so starved for like a new turn-based Mario game. And this is, again, we're not even considering like Mario and Luigi right now. That's another story. But I finish it and I go like, that was really nice. I never need to play it again.
Yeah.
It was such a weird feeling. Like, this is too easy. It's like, I feel like the game thinks I'm dumb. I don't know. it was such weird to contend with like a genuinely cozy experience versus a game that's just like looking down on me. I don't know. So after that, I fell out. Like I skipped. I always forget Color Splash. Yes.
Yeah.
I always think Paint Splash or something. I skipped
Paper Mario
that
Fill
one.
Bucket Tool.
Yeah. Paper. Paper Mario MS Paint. I didn't finish. I didn't even. I was just out.
I'm sure there's a Newgrounds game.
No, I was just out. And then I also skipped Origami King because I waited till reviews came out for it, and everything just kind of proved me right. Like, it's a very mundane battle system.
I can't blame you. It's fine if you skip
Paper Mario. Like, you can make. I will. This will be the hot take of the night, I guess. You can make like the shittiest Paper Mario game, but if it has the coolest friends, like the coolest partner, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's all it. In my opinion, that's all I'm asking for.
I kind of agree with that on a lot of levels.
If Sticker Star was the exact same game, but it had like really cool partners and like two people or like two characters in battle, I would have been like, oh, that was great. That was fine.
Just give me a piranha plant wearing an electrician uniform that calls me a bitch every couple of cutscenes
or something. I'm not even. No, you're not even joking. And yeah, Origami King, like visually, it hit the right. Like I remember seeing screenshots and being like, I wish like it was this, but with like Paper Mario 64, Thousand Year Door like battle system, friend system, all that crap. And yeah, after that, I guess, Mario RPG Remake. I did get that one day one as well. That one, I have like a lot of mixed feelings on, even though it is cool that it exists. I love the new things they added are genuinely good, but I do feel like it just kind of doesn't elevate the original as much as I want it to. But again, we don't have to get into that. That's a whole nother topic. But there you go. That's my history with the series.
Yeah. And I'll just add, I had similar, I was very shy and like lacked a lot of confidence when it came to reading. And so I remember playing Mario RPG on my own and being very, like, feeling a lot of confidence that, like, I got through this full story with, like, these characters, and that being, like, a thing that really clicked for me with, getting me into RPGs. And it was something that I revisited with SNES 9X that I think also kind of got me into, like, replaying these games and sort of preserving, like, ROMs and things to be able to appreciate them more. I remember being 14 and playing that game, like, at a summer where I replayed that game, and then I played, like, all the SNES RPGs, like, kind of back to back. All the ones I missed, especially.
Oh, I do. Oh, I missed that shit. When you had time to do that.
Obviously, I love Paper Mario. I also had it in 64. I was also starved for RPGs. Did not have a GameCube.
Every N64 owner.
I remember getting to play Thousand Year Door and thinking it was really awesome, but just never got a chance. I did own Super. I thought it was fine, but I was a little disappointed. And then Origami King, I did, like, I was pleasantly surprised at the writing and the story on that one, because even though they can't use unique characters, they also play with the fact that, like, what does it mean to be a Bob-omb in this world? Or, like, there's a recurring bit where you'll find a hidden, like, coffee bar that's for Bowser's minions, and you, like, go up to the bar, and, like, every time you do, you take a sip, you, like, sip on some coffee, and, like, a Goomba's just like, man, 9 to 5, am I right, dude? And just talks about how, like, it's just, like, weird that he's, like, just, like, it's his job to just try and murder you. And Olivia also is, even though that game kind of lacks partners, like, you get Bobby the Bomb, who's incredible, but he's only with you for a short amount, like, only for one chapter, basically. A lot of characters are just, like, temporary. But, like, Bobby is incredible, and, like, honestly, he does kind of just call you a bitch. Like, he's not about you, and, like, you'll walk through, like, a field of tall grass, after he's like, I'm joining you, like, let's go. And, like, he'll go through the tall grass, and then he'll be gone, and you have to, like, go back, and he's like, oh, sorry, did you need me or something? And he's just, like hanging out with a bunch of, like, shy guys in mariachi outfits.
That's amazing.
And, like, even Baby Bowser is really funny in that one, because, like, they make Kamek Koopa, like, kind of this weird babysitter for him, who's, like, doesn't like his job, and is like, well, I have to kind of be here for this unaccompanied minor, because his dad's not here. This is weird for me. And then Olivia is a really wonderful character who, her Japanese version is actually kind of, like, dumb. And they localized her to be more ditzy and naive and energetic, and it really
is that worked. Who is that? The origami character?
That's the yellow girl with the little triangle hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because in Origami King, basically, like, the origami people bust out into your world, and the brother is evil and wants to take over everything. And then Olivia is the sister, and she wants to help you and stop him.
Okay, all right.
So, and it actually, like, Sophia was, like, sobbing by the end. She's like, how dare this game about stupid little folded up paper guys do this to me? But, you know, so that's my history with the Paper Mario series. So why don't we go on to a talking point? What even is a Paper Mario game? Specifically, what different, like, when I say Paper Mario, we're more focusing on RPG 64 and Thousand Year Door, let's say. Okay. But what about those games makes them better than other RPGs, let's say?
Sure. I think our guest should go first.
Sure. The simplicity definitely, I think, is kind of the staple, right? Like, the low number, like, low like I wouldn't say low mechanics, but like, you know, you're not gonna amass a like 50 like item spell list at the end. Like you're not gonna have to like know what weaknesses are what, like to the real extent that's like most other RPGs. Just
but
like
it's not simpler. Those numbers are more important.
Like it's weird because like, you know, every upgrade is like an exponential jump in power, but at the same time, like it's just like factored in so perfectly with the game that like it feels just fitting the whole time. Like I feel like you never really feel too overpowered, but you also never really feel too underpowered at like most points of the game, which is really nice.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was something I really liked about the original Paper Mario. It's a very good balancing system that prevents you to overlevel.
Yeah, in addition to that, I think it's like you feel so rewarded by doing the timed mini games when it comes to those numbers, because like being able to nail a combo and have your damage double made the RPGs way more engaging. And I think that's, you know, when I had a trouble with the abstraction of the RPG, like having something to engage me in the combat made it a lot more fulfilling, even in just RPG. And then it becomes almost this like puzzle game where you're like, oh, if I hit this guy perfectly, that means I can kill him. I won't take the damage. I can block that guy perfectly, and you know I can get by on like 5 health without taking a turn to heal. And like turns really matter. So it's almost a puzzle game, or like a tactics game. It's kind of taking a lot of inspiration from like a lot of other just game theory. But for me, I love the fact that there's an overworld that you're like actively exploring and jumping around in, and you can avoid random combat.
That does help a lot, yeah.
Yeah, also, and getting the jump on enemies, like that rules too.
Yeah, it's a clever way to incorporate the platforming aspects of Mario.
Yeah, which I think is a big factor in these games, is that like they're not just Mario, but you know you equip a sword. In fact, I think that there was an early design that they showed not too long ago where they all had like fencing outfits. But to be a Mario RPG, like it translates over the concepts of like, no, you eat mushrooms, but that recovers your health, and it doesn't feel like it's just reskinning Final Fantasy. It feels like, what does it mean for Mario to be an RPG?
Yeah, and that's what drew me into it initially, was that seamless transition to the like keeping those RPG elements, but making them inherently like something that would exist in the world of Mario. That at least was the appeal for me initially.
Yeah, I think like obviously the these games just like they're firing off on all cylinders. You know, it feels reductive to be like, well, to be a Paper Mario game means you're just really good. You have really good writing and really good. But yeah, they're simpler.
I don't want to really get into that.
They're more charming. Like they're a little bit more whimsical. But yeah, I really think it is like everything feels so much more kind of core. You're right. Like it's easier to grok. It's more streamlined. It's more simplified. But like it's also very expressive. Like I don't see many games do anything near as intricate as the badge system.
The badges were great. Like just how much you could customize. And I'm glad you mentioned the just actions as well, because like growing up, that was the sort of system that really clicked with me, because I was the type of kid who would be pressing B whenever the Pokeball shaked in Pokemon. Like, doing things in time with things happening on screen just feels really satisfying, even if it doesn't do anything. So the fact that it did do something was, like, mind-blowing.
Yeah, and it's the kind of game that just feels like everything's kind of incorporated on you, because, like, you were rewarded for, like, doing the platforming well and timing everything nicely, which helps you explore the level better. And exploring the level better helps you find better badges, which like makes you do more stuff in combat. So like everything is this feedback loop for like being satisfied with the things you can do in the game. And then like talking to people like both gives you like items or badges or stuff, but also funny dialogue. So like there's this thing in like game design called like low, middle, medium, and like high level rules. And the idea is like you want someone to have enough lives in Mario. That's like a high level rules. If you get hit, you die, you lose a life. And like a low level rule is like you get the coins, and if you get enough coins, it gets you the 1-up. So they're like lower tiers of things that encourage you to like play the game the way it's meant to be played.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many things of like just talk to the funny little guy and then you get a star bit and getting the star bit gets you the badge and getting the badge lets you express yourself, and that's the core of the game. And so everything ties to that. And I don't see, like, even of that era of like Super Mario RPG, like the Squaresoft RPGs, like Final Fantasy VI and like some of those others of that era, like didn't even come close to that in terms of like wrapping everything together and really encouraging you to just like be in this world.
Right. I wonder if that's part of the, approach to like game design in terms of like, is a beginner going to play this? Like, is this going to be like someone's first RPG? I think that has a lot to do with what makes these games unique, is that they take into account, like, even though Paper Mario is kind of a sequel to Mario RPG, it assumes that this is the first RPG you're playing. Yeah. For better or worse, because like if you played a lot of RPGs, you might find this a little easy or a little simplistic. But the further you get into it, the more you see like, no, these are all the familiar things are here. It's just that they're condensed to like a very, how do I say, like, into a nugget, like a more palpable, or a more understandable version of that. Whereas, like, it kind of actually made me question, like, okay, what is the point of having characters do 500 damage if essentially to a 1,000 HP monster, if essentially having someone do 5 damage to a 10 HP monster is the same? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I felt like it wasn't like it wasn't bullshitting me.
Yeah, it's not really bullshit. Exactly, it's not really bullshitting you. It's just taking these concepts and condensing them to their most, like, to the skeleton. To just kind of what it needs to be in RPG, but then on top of that skeleton is built a new life form. And I think that's what works for me a lot. Aside from, the it is kind of a cheap shot to say the writing, but aside,
okay, I will say, like, going off of that, they're funny games, and
sure,
like, there aren't of that era, especially, there weren't a lot of like funny games.
Yeah, I can only think of like Earthbound.
I was about to say Earthbound definitely felt like it was like one of the first in that regard.
At least that we got in the U.S.
Yeah, true.
Because again, like, and here's another thing: like, right place, right time for these games. Because especially when the original Mario RPG came out, the U.S. was still like not really into RPGs, especially JRPGs. And so the writing was we shouldn't call it writing. Let's call it like the personality of the game. Like, those things are kind of what carries the player through to the next thing. Like, every text bubble is like funny, not funny. Like, it doesn't have to be funny, but it has to like enrich the world with that personality. And so it makes the player want to talk to everybody, because it's like, oh, there's a funny guy. What's he gonna say? And that encourages
every toad
you
has a funny
to interact
little
with
name that's their like personality, and you just by having that, you want to see what are all the toads and their respective teas, because if you might not know, like, it's like the chef is named Taste Tea, and like the train conductor is Russ Tea, and like they all their names are all just goofy little puns.
And I think the other thing I'll say that to me defines a Mario RPG Paper Mario game is, and I said it before, is the cast, like the playable characters. I think I don't know if Mario RPG would be as memorable if it wasn't for Mallow or Gino. I don't know if Paper Mario would be as memorable if it wasn't for like the partner characters, and Thousand Year Door 2 right after it. I think that is what brings a lot, like seeing those familiar Mario characters or concepts in like a new light, and like it makes it feel like part of the same world but a new thing. That's what draws you in, and then like you develop a relationship with them, like oh, these are my friends and they're cool and they're funny, and that also kind of adds to it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, here's a quick talking point I actually wanted to bring up. Specifically referring to RPG, Paper, and Thousand Year Door. What is Mario's personality? Because I feel like that's another big thing about the Paper Mario and the Mario RPG games, is that Mario actually gets a personality in these games, but he doesn't really have one in any of the other games.
What I love about the Mario and the RPG games is he kind of just has the problem of Courage the Cowardly Dog, where he can't talk. he can only gesticulate. So he's just like waving his arms around and trying desperately to explain the situation when he can't do anything.
Yeah, he's also kind of the straight man in that, and he's a little spicy. Because like there's a scene where he tries to punch a child.
That's in Mario RPG. Yeah. When he gets mad at Gaz. I was gonna say he has the most memorable like Mario moments, I think, in Mario RPG, just because he's like really, really good at doing charades and becoming other characters when he needs to be. In Paper Mario, he's a different character when I think about it. Now that I've been more involved with like other Mario fandoms, I can see the different Marios now.
Yeah.
I used to think this was the stupidest thing. Like, it's Mario. Like, what the fuck? But now I'm like playing Paper Mario going like, he's actually kind of different here than he was in Mario RPG and in Mario and Luigi. In Paper Mario, he's more like, he is more the straight guy, like the everyman.
It's often like in how he does his little question marks and exclamation points.
And also like just something tiny, just these little things, like when he finishes a fight and he just like kind of, on to the next one, or when he tips his hat. These tiny little things kind of make him a more like this is more of a working man Mario.
Yeah, he brags a little bit. He shows off a little bit. He's kind of humble. He's kind of
he's more a little down to earth. Whereas Mario RPG Mario was like, don't mess with him. He might start something.
He's much more the like. I mean, I think he's kind of the straight man in all of these games. But yeah, definitely he's a lot more like fed up with your shit in RPG. And then like he's kind of in, branching out a little bit in the Mario and Luigi games. He's kind of the one that has to be like the rock for Luigi.
Yeah.
Like they're both really sort of zany and expressive, but he's got to be like kind of like the thing for you to be like stable and latch onto.
All right.
But yeah, no, I just thought that was worth bringing up because like I feel like compared to something like Odyssey, where like, yeah, he's saving the day, and I know he wants to beat Bowser, but it feels like he's nothing.
He dances.
He does dance. Yeah. Okay, that's true. Odyssey, I feel like maybe I kind of backed myself into a corner with this one because he does have the most personality in Odyssey compared to most of the other games.
Just by a bit, but
Yeah, but I thought that was worth bringing up. But why don't we go to our next talking point, which is. Why does Paper Mario have such an identity crisis?
Honestly, I feel like, obviously Sticker Star is the turning point. Like, it kind of just feels like Nintendo was kind of getting jealous that there was such a, like, notable identity to it. Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird to me to see such rich characters and stuff and to be like, you know what? Make this more corporate. Make this more... cookie cutter.
True.
Like I cannot think of any good reason for this.
It's bizarre.
Like I guess there is like brand safety to like consider, but even then it's just like, I don't know.
But that really was around the time we saw that in not just that game but other Mario games. Where kind of like that homogeneity started happening where it's like we want to control our brand a little more.
Yeah, it's definitely like kind of a turning point for like post Wii. Nintendo is much more about its brand identity. They kind of had gotten past the point where it wasn't a sure bet that they'd be this like gigantic corporation. But and then also I think pretty infamously like Sticker Star is where the identity of Paper Mario was chosen to be more about puzzles and less about story. And I think that's a real bummer because, like, as we said, like, there is a story and it's really charming. It's not complicated, but, like, I mean, there was that recent Games Done Quick where they played the Mario RPG remake and, like, someone, like, was actually crying at the end saying, like, I love these 5 idiots so much.
I'm telling you, it's the cast does the heavy lifting.
You're right. I really think its strength is the cast.
It really is. And, like, so many members, like, and the best part too is this is easily provable because there's one cast member, and maybe this is better to be saved for later amongst all 3 of the RPGs, that I kind of forgot existed.
Which?
And then until I replayed Paper Mario 1, that would be Lackluster.
Oh yeah.
Which
I forgot about
his
it
name
too,
is very
though.
fitting. I'm gonna say that.
I remember I got to a certain point. I was like, "Oh, that's it. I got them all." And then this other guy shows up. Like, "Oh, wait,
So
who is
late in the
this?"
game. He's funny though. He's like, "Hey, babe, I'm
He's
sick."
like a greaser
And
for
his
some reason.
girlfriend is
Yeah,
like,
he's a greaser. His character trait is he has a caring girlfriend, and that's basically it.
I love her design though. The
Yes,
I forgot her
she's
name.
cute.
Yeah, she's adorable. I forgot her name though. Because it's so late. It's like, who are you two? Like,
I
okay,
know.
should come on by. You can help me fly, kind of.
Yeah, I
Like it.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it probably didn't help. So like, I guess I didn't say before. The last time I played Paper Mario 1 was a 22-hour stream where I played it start to finish in one go.
Because she had done all of Earthbound in one go, which is
Yes,
doable.
long
that
was
was like
that?
18 hours.
Really?
Which
That's
like you know,
surprising. Yeah.
yeah, reading all dialogue, it was about an 18-hour. I did play on a mod that sped some stuff up,
Okay.
but it was still basically a vanilla experience for the most part. But yeah, Paper Mario was more like 22 hours reading all dialogue, but not being completionist. And like, I don't know, I got to the flower fields, I think like 17, 18 hours in, and like I was starting to fade, but I was just like, oh yeah, there was a Lakitu in this game, wasn't there? Like I was just like, that entire section of the game, I remembered it existed, but it was like a blur. I did not remember much of anything at that part. And I think it's because like Lackluster just didn't really like click with me like the other characters, so that portion of the game just did not feel as good.
Yeah,
or
also,
as memorable.
I will say that portion of the game is a lot of like go down a hallway, get an item.
Yeah.
I think the best part of that level is that it's just that all the flowers are kind of just bitches to each other.
They're terrible.
Because there's the one the rose has the water gem that is like causing the lotus to die, and it's just like, I don't want to give this up. This is pretty. Give me something pretty, and maybe I'll consider.
I felt so bad for that lotus. I'm like, why is everyone doing this to you? That's I was gonna say that the most memorable part about that game is the 4 flowers and how they're like kind of terrible to each other. Then Lackluster shows up. Hey,
Yeah, so I think the fact that the games like, you know, like they have such a good cast, like we're talking about this as it's a core principle. It's like you've got to have the cast, and then Super, which people like for the story, for the plot, has no partners functionally. It's got the butterfly, but like the rest of the partners are just gimmicks. They're one-note jokes that show up and then they never talk again.
I gotta play this game. Well, I want to see what people are about this game. The thing is that from the outside in, it at least looks like it does interesting things, you know?
No, like it has some moments that are like, what is this, like creepypasta? Like,
oh no.
You like, there's a character that like breaks their own neck and turns into a spider. Like, it's and then like one of the bosses is an incel that collects video games. Like,
yes.
I'm not even like doing a bit where I'm like hyperbolic to. I mean, I am a little bit, but like I'm not like misleading you. Like you literally fight.
Yeah,
a fucking
I
nerd.
better play this game.
What was that lizard's name?
I better play
God,
this
yeah,
game.
you fight. It's basically Birdly, like.
Oh God, Birdly. But
Francis,
cool.
that was his
Francis.
name.
God.
But I love Birdly. He's king.
No, Birdly's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think like even when the games get it right, some of them are like, yeah, but Super didn't even have like the cast, or it didn't have the partners, and you're always getting this like football pulled out from under us, where like
the emotional core, don't you think? Like
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because you're right. Like Paper Mario isn't its plot. I mean, it was cool that Super went as like deep as it did.
Sure.
But it's its cast. That's its writing.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think unfortunately, like they do sometimes get it right or change things, and it's still fine. But like I think you need like all these elements to be like a true Paper Mario game.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say we haven't had a true Paper Mario game since?
I mean, I would say like RPG Paper and Thousand Year Door are the ones that people keep wanting more of, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, would you like if you could push a button and say like every console generation or every 4 to 5 years or whatever, you just get another Paper Mario game, and it's basically just like a reskinned version of like Thousand Year Door. Like, would you push that button? I'm like, I guess maybe. Like, I wouldn't want it to go on forever if there's like nothing to say and it's just changing the MacGuffin, you know?
I wonder if it kept things interesting with like battle mechanics, like adding new partners that can do wild and different things. Maybe incorporating like more elements of like the Mario platformers into the gameplay.
Yeah.
I think that's one way to do it. It's just that we don't know because it's only gone backwards since then.
Yeah.
Instead of adding things, they keep taking things away.
And that's why people love Thousand Year Door so much, is because like they upped the skill ceiling and they made it to where there was way more expression with like the badges, and they like added a lot of features. So
also they added Rock Hawk, so like, you know, that alone kind of took it to another level.
Fair enough.
I gotta get to that part now because I forgot completely.
That is like, once you get past the puny part, like the game is substantially better.
Really? It really is. Like, it kind of sucks that that's so front loaded, and like you could tell it was just because it was kind of like gimmicks for the sake of gimmicks on like some of it, but like. Yeah, some of the later parts of Thousand Year Door are honestly pretty incredible.
Okay, actually, but back to this identity crisis thing real quick.
Sure. Like,
that is another thing where, like, even Thousand Year Door being, like, superior in so many ways, one of the things that I think, like, really hits with the original Paper Mario is when you finish this perfectly, like, digestible level. Like, it's got this, like, nice arc. You beat the boss, you feel so good. Then you get to play the Peach level. And the Peach levels are fun. They're really cute. They're, like, not too long, and, like, they're always a little
Paper Mario
different.
1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, going to Peach was super fun, and it was, like, it felt, like, cool that, like, you get to hear, like, the sneak preview on what to expect, and, like, you might have, like, it's always setting up these ideas, like, on the map and stuff. So it was fun to be, like, get that level of, like, surprise and anticipation, and Thousand Year Door does, like, a lot of build-up of anticipation, but the Peach levels in Thousand Year Door are terrible. I'm like, just fully my opinion, but like I think they take way too long, that you don't do anything interesting in them. Like, often it's just walking down a hallway, and like all the cute fun little things, I think just it's gone compared to Paper Mario 1.
I see.
Yeah, I mentioned the cake thing, which was definitely the worst Peach one in my opinion, just because like, oh, you have to wait an arbitrary amount of time, and if it's too early or too late, you're just gonna lose.
Well, that one I think is flawed because you can fail it so arbitrarily. Yeah.
But then it got to the sneaky parasol, and I was like, this should just be its own game. This is a cool mechanic. What the heck?
Yeah, I love the concept that if you get caught, like, you can just like go back out there because the guards don't want to get in trouble and tell Bowser that you got out. But no, I just wanted to mention that as a side, because like, yeah, I think like, and that's going back to kind of this like the cast and like these like little story beats where you're like going to like new things, and it's always like changing and increasing the novelty. Like, I don't know, that's just part of its identity.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but Twink is one of my favorite characters.
we love a good Twink.
See, that's why you can't say that in 2025.
Okay, but yeah, no, like Twink legitimately rules because he's just a cute little guy, and then by the end you're like, man, no, he's trying so hard.
Yeah, and like I remember when I first played the game, I'm like, is he gonna join me? And he didn't. I was so disappointed.
I have like a very funny story with Twink in particular, which is a weird thing to say.
I know. It's an unfortunate name.
While I was playing through the big stream I was doing, one of my longer time viewers randomly went to their own channel, uploaded just one of the default sprites of Twink as an emote, and just came back like hours later and just started posting it. And like something about it just had the weirdest energy. Just like the tiny little smile that he has. It looks very weird, like so kind of funny. Exclusive to an emote. And like he is, as far as I know, kept that emote for all these years later, which is amazing.
That's great. He does have a funny face. It cracks me up every time. I love, my favorite one is when he's like angry and shaking.
Yeah.
It just cracks me up. Anyway, go on.
So yeah, now that we've kind of thoroughly discussed a lot of the Paper Marios, why don't we discuss which Paper Mario has the best story?
Oh.
I'm gonna have to go 1,000 Year Door on this. Like, it's weird. Like, I think some of the later ones probably do, and I just need to finish them. But like Paper Mario 1, it's like Bowser takes Castle, Mario goes through, you know, to find the 7 power whatevers to like, you know. It's very, like, I kind of hate that formula. And I know that 1,000 Year Door is kind of the same, but I think 1,000 Year Door is like spicing up of adding like the B plots of like Luigi's escapades and like the setting and stuff kind of take it to another notch for me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely also like how it's just sort of like building up. Like there's this mystery of like what is in the 1,000 Year Door, and you've got like a little bit of danger. I think that's a fantastic element of it. And then, you know, having your cast sort of build up and sort of contribute, and the fact that you can get like different lines to the scenes depending on who you have out is really cool. I really like the plot in RPG, honestly, because I love like,
I guess
counting RPG?
yeah. If we're counting RPG, maybe RPG.
Yeah.
I think all of these stories are better the like more Bowser is not the main enemy.
Huh. The fact that I actually was gonna say before, like when we were talking about characters in the beginning, like one of the most memorable scenes, obviously Mario RPG, is when Bowser just straight up joins you, and it's like, wait, that's in the table? You could actually do that?
That was the game that made that a thing. That like Bowser could be like your reluctant friend.
And he looks cool, and he's cool, and you're like, what? He's cool? Anyway. I would say, I didn't know we were counting RPG, but I would say like, with my limited experience, I do think 1,000 Year Door has the most interesting plot. Because my take on original Paper Mario is Paper Mario is just Mario RPG if Bowser didn't get like smithied in the beginning of the game. Like it kind of plays out the way it would have. That's kind of like it is a very similar plot to Mario RPG if you think about it.
And I don't even mind Bowser in the original Paper Mario because there's something like maybe it's just because like he lifts the castle and that's like such a cool moment that it feels. I guess when the other games do it, it's like, well, but Bowser already did kind of that again. So you need to give me something. When I originally wrote this question too, I was thinking I would say Super, and I do think Super has a good plot, but I think like I really have come to terms with the fact that like the strict like lore is not what makes these games interesting. It's like the anticipation, it's the cast.
Yeah, I agree. I want to put a little like asterisk here. Bowser's Inside Story is one of my favorite Mario and Luigi games.
That one's also really good.
Again, it's like just let me play as him. Like that's such an easy like. You want to make me like a Mario RPG game? Make me play as Bowser. That's all you need to do.
Which is funny too because I don't like the Bowser segments in 1,000 Year Door because I feel like they come
those are kind
like way after the. I mean, it's just that they come after the Peach, so I'm already kind of like waiting for it to be over. And then the Bowser ones, like I think all the jokes are really funny, but they don't. He doesn't get a plot. It's just sort of like the Bowser joke segment.
Yeah, it's a gag. It's
even though like I like doing the like 1-1 where your Bowser is really funny and like when he goes to like the Koopa village and he sees the poster of Peach from the Peach fanboy, it's really funny. Like that's really funny, but it doesn't do anything. And even though these plots are paper thin, like I don't know, it just needs something.
Phrasing.
So moving on, then, what Paper Mario has the best gameplay?
I think I might have to say 1,000 Year Door again because like I feel like that is when it was refined to where it was best. Like because like the first three, they all have very similar mechanics in a lot of ways. But like I'd say in Super Mario RPG, some of the timing is a little bit finicky and a little bit more.
It's not good at communicating when you need to do it. I dislike that.
Yeah, and then like Paper Mario, they're like, okay, let's make it more like accessible, but also like you still do need to have good timing. Like you still have to have it be on top of it. And then in Thousand Year Door, like there wasn't too much that they improved on, but they were like, okay, well now you can style on the enemy in between like doing your actions because why not? And like that I think really raised the bar for me because I like stuff like that. That's just a little bit extra.
Mario, we're just gonna have to kill him, and then Mario just starts breakdancing.
If the dab had been popular by the time Thousand Year Door came out, Mario would have been doing that.
No, so pulling back a little bit, let's say. So sure. I think we can all agree that Thousand Year Door probably has the best combat, strictly. But in terms of like the whole package, which is like, the quests, like the quest design, going from point A to point B, the puzzles, world traversal, does that still remain the same?
It's tough because I was gonna say like, I do like the little things they add to Paper Mario Thousand Year Door's battle system, but then I'm only focusing on the combat. I love the fact that you're like in front of an audience and like they can influence the fight. They can like boo you or you get in a random fight and suddenly it's nothing but like Goombas and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, they can change that, or like when like a boss will eat the crowd. And it sort of like
that kind of stuff is really cool. But again, it kind of I like y'all talking about it made me realize I am only focusing on the combat side of it. And if we're counting Mario RPG, I feel like I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say like I do like the traversal of Thousand Year Door too, because like especially the curses I really enjoy. Just the idea.
Yeah.
So
like,
I will
being cursed and then being better at than we were before.
Yeah. No, that is a really funny bit. And like, to be fair, I'll say something nice about Thousand Year Door before I say something mean about it. The world traversal in Thousand Year Door and like how it dishes out its mega dungeon is so good because it's always teasing
that is cool.
The new powers and like giving you like incentive to re-explore it. Whereas like the mega dungeon in Paper Mario, the original, is fine.
I mean, in Paper Mario, the original Paper Mario, that's such a mouthful. In Paper Mario 64, that one is more like just the fast travel mechanic. It's more than a dungeon, really.
It's kind of a side quest that you get rewarded for.
And it is cool. Like, I love the non-linearity of it, where like if you're good enough, you can beat the giant blooper and keep going. But when it's all said and done, it is kind of just a warp zone for like every other stage,
which is funny because I think that the criticism I'm getting to with the Thousand Year Door is that in replaying the remake, and they cut down on some of the backtracking. I feel like so much of that game is I go to a character and they tell me to go down a hallway and then talk to something and then I have to go back. And when I was watching you, Jorge, play 64, you were at the desert level, which is kind of cheating because that one's so great. But like that one, like you do this like the setup where it's kind of this dangerous terrain to set up like the desert environment in the mountains. You get a new party member, and then you go to like the huge desert, and there's like a big area for you to explore as much as you want, and it feels dangerous. But then like you can go down the main path. There's like the whole like figuring out the knowledge to get to the quest. So like you have to even just learn how to get there, which I think is a big part of the Paper Mario games is learning how to get to the star. Or just the Mario RPGs in general is how do you get to this next zone.
That's what I liked about the original versus Thousand Year Door. Like
it feels like it has more faith in you, even though it is a game designed for babies. 64 I feel like has a lot more faith in the player to just keep trying and know that like, well, we gave you a wizard that can tell you what to do. We gave you a character that will literally like on every screen point you in the right direction. It has the tools there, whereas I feel like Paper Mario or Thousand Year Door does not have that same faith in you and puts way more guardrails and way more text on those guardrails.
I still don't know which one I would consider to have the better gameplay.
I think really it's like as long as you took like the combat and like the level design of Thousand Year Door, it just needs to be, I think, just a tiny bit more open. Like, you know, it's if it just had a little bit more faith in you. I've not even wanted it for adults. Just have less text on things.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, just imagine they could have done that in the third game. They had the resources, but
we only got there.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's the frustrating thing is like if in a different reality where we got like the true Paper Mario third game, would these things have been improved even more? And I would want to believe that, yeah.
Yeah. And then, real quick, which Paper Mario has the best soundtrack?
Wait, I haven't even answered.
Oh, good. Then answer. I'm sorry.
I haven't even told you what I think. If we're counting Mario RPG, I might go with Mario RPG because, like, the platforming in that game is like skill based, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I know some people don't, but I actually do enjoy that. There's a lot of things you can do outside of just the combat in the cities, and like,
I feel like there's a lot of optional things to explore in Mario RPG, especially for like a much older game. And I think it really nails that like Dragon Quest perfect formula of like go to a new place and like it's a funny little like area and you get a little story and it's like this tight vignette.
I would say like the Paper Mario series improves upon that. I will admit this because like having those extra abilities that let you progress, like every time you get a new party member, they give you an ability that lets you keep progressing through other parts of the world, and that I feel is like the thing Mario RPG needed and Paper Mario gave us. And like having more, like I wish you could switch characters in Mario RPG and like let me walk around as Mallow and maybe turn into a cloud or something. I don't know, that would have been nice, stuff like that. And I feel like Paper Mario,
you could cry on like a plant to make it grow.
Yeah, that would be wouldn't that be great? Like that, just I feel like we were so close to getting something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna say Mario RPG in the end.
Yeah. So sorry, going back again. So yeah, which Mario has the best soundtrack?
This one's easy.
Oh?
I'll let everyone go first.
This one's harder for me. Like, RPG is probably the easy answer, but, like, I actually genuinely love how experimental they went with Thousand Year Door. And then Paper Mario also just had a lot of memorable, like, tracks.
There's also Paper Mario like 64 has a lot more of this like jazz influence that's really cool that you can see as a through line throughout the whole game, even if like individual tracks on Thousand Year Door I think just own, like the Xbox theme, the bass one specifically, like so many like bangers in that. But like I think as a whole package of like musical influences, I think 64 like you can't ignore that one. Oh god, this is really hard actually, because like RPG like has one of the best the best like scores period on a game.
See, I almost don't want to count RPG for this question because it's too like, of course, right?
I mean, okay, yes, but we also talked about how like how fun it is to start that game just because of the first track.
Yeah, but I would say I agree with Izzy here. Like, Thousand Year Door just has like it the original Paper Mario had a more like a soundtrack that was very I don't know if this is the right term, but like it coexisted with itself. Like everything felt like it was part of this soundtrack. Whereas Thousand Year Door, whereas that one was like, yeah, it really did some. Like I still think of the I forget the name of the first town, the dock. That track, I still think about it. You know. The battle theme. I actually like the GameCube version more than the remake version for the battle theme. I still like. I think it's on par with Mario RPG's battle theme.
I was a little disappointed by the RPG remakes soundtrack.
Oh my god!
I think the instrumentation was a little bit too much, which is unfortunate because the same artist, they did the Live Alive soundtrack, and that rips. like whatever, I forget the name of the song, the Megalovania, but it's not called Megalovania. In Little Lies is Megalomania. That version, the new version, is like 10 times better than the original. So it's not like they can't remix that that artist's music.
Going on a small tangent, the rearranging of the Mario RPG remake soundtrack was kind of, I don't know, it felt kind of rushed. It felt kind of like they digitized it too much, if that makes sense. Like it's just it's very much like, well, what would a modern version of this sound like?
Yeah, it felt like they just added more layers to the same song.
It's predictable. It's not exciting. It doesn't have that punchiness that the original had. And I found myself really switching. Like every time I got to a new area, I would switch to the new BGM to just listen. Give it a chance, give it a fair shake. And I would just 2 minutes later just change it back to the original, because like why would I?
And yet I still bought the vinyl for it because I'm a sucker.
Oh my god! Okay.
But yeah, but the instrumentation for the New Thousand Year Door is like it kind of is going at like what's the core of the song mean, and how can we add or change that? And I think it's actually going for something more.
It's a little better, although I still like some of the original. Like I said, the the original I absolutely love. Way better. There's another track I'm trying to remember, but what part was it? I can't remember now. But again, it's like as he said, this is very. It was very like out of nowhere. Like you'd get to a new area and be like, "Why is this creepy?" I don't know.
Like, when you get like a star, it has like a woman singing in the background, and it makes it feel like more magical.
Right. It was a little more bold, and I respect it for that.
Yeah.
So.
I will say also, I think though my answer is Origami King. Y'all are sleeping on it.
I need to play.
I will say it does do the thing where you're like, I like the soundtrack, I'm gonna put it on, and it's like 4 hours long, and you're like, it did not need this many songs. But
that's a trope I'm getting tired of with modern gaming. Is like OSTs that are like 6 hours long. I can't.
I will say, well, part of it will say that there's a little bit of inflation because the reason I like that soundtrack so much is because you will get like a main theme that's like the Autumn Valley like main overworld theme, and then you get the battle theme, which is its own theme. But when you're in the Autumn Valley or whatever, it has like, it's using like the erhu and a bunch of Japanese woodwind instruments for this. Okay. So it's going to be the battle version of that theme. And then when you take your turn, it does the quiet version of that theme. Wow. So like it uses all the same these like motifs that are like these beautiful through lines. It does one of my favorite things in all of video game soundtracks, which is when you go to Toad Town, every time you beat a new level, it adds another, and you like that because of Braid Fencer Musashi.
I was gonna say it's the thing. It's every time you progress in the game, the track adds another layer to like the hub world. I fucking love that shit. Yeah.
So it's use of like its motifs, whereas like I'll listen to like today I was listening to some Mario RPG like playlists and soundtracks and stuff and best of, and like you can tell when you get to like a color splash or a sticker star, especially when you're like, you used one theme and you stretched it out through the whole game, and I swear if I hear this stupid synth saxophone anymore, and it's like, it's not bad, it's not a bad soundtrack, but like when every song has the like blah, 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 blah. I'm just so tired of it.
I'm sorry.
At least it didn't have the new Super Mario Brothers wah wah all the time.
God.
That was worse.
Okay, so like that was cute in the first one, and then it's like, oh come on, no more.
A little bit of a tangent here, but finally, which Paper Mario or Mario RPG game has the best partners?
Ooh, the best?
That's hard.
I know, right? Can we pick like top 3?
Yeah, sure. Let's just do individual partners. Right. In fact, just pick one, and then like I'll try and pick a different one. Or God, this is hard too.
I was gonna say let's just do like top 2 for each of us.
Sure.
Yeah. I could give 3.
Let's do 3. Let's do 3.
Yeah.
2 would be tough. Because mine would definitely be Lady Bo, Vivian, and Miss Mouse.
I was gonna pick Lady Bo.
Lady Bo's the best objectively. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
she carries Paper Mario 1 hard.
Yes!
Miss Mouse is the most I'm not a furry butt character.
But Lady Bo, though, I'm a sucker for any character that
Yeah.
has a fan.
Well,
And does
she's also great because she gets to mix it up and be like, no, I have the star, but like you gotta do something for me.
I know. Oh, she's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, I need a list of characters. I want to make sure I got everybody in mind.
Yeah, I think honestly, the Boo section of Paper Mario in particular is so beautifully done. Just because like you get in and it's all menacing, and you're like, oh, these Boos are kind of like crazy and they're kind of antagonistic. And like Bo is definitely kind of like mean at first, and then it's like
They're
you
just messing
get out
with
of
you.
there, and then you realize, oh, they're really just kind of having fun, and this monster is way worse.
Yeah.
Well, also you can tell that like how good that level is because that is the second desert you get in that game, and in that level you go to 2 different mansions, and still you're like, this is peak level design. Yeah. Well, Jorge, while you're thinking, you obviously heard my enthusiasm earlier, but like Bobby and/or Olivia from Origami King really nail that well, and they have a dynamic too, where like Olivia is constantly getting into trouble because she's just too naive, too innocent, and Bobby is constantly just this detached, like, yeah, whatever.
Bobby's just a bomb.
But here's the thing: he has to contend with the fact that like if he cares about something, if he has to commit to having a purpose in his life, he is going to fucking die because he's a bomb.
Oh my god.
So he has to be like kind of detached and a little like, what about it?
I was kind of hoping Bobby would look like a different bomb.
It sucks. If he just had a little hat on, he would be everyone's favorite character.
Give him like a different color. Do anything.
I know. But like Bobby, I think Lady Bo, and then I do agree with you, like Izzy, that like Vivian rules, but like for Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, like
Goombella is great.
Goombella being just like every tattle is like fucking gross. Ew, I do not like looking at this. Why are you making me talk to this weirdo? Like and like she's not like a valley girl. It could have been so easy to make her like that, but she's just like, no, I don't like this.
That just reminded me of the mod that turns I forget if it was Paper Mario 1 or Thousand Year Door, but it turns the tattle ability into a smasher pass.
Oh my god, I remember this.
Yeah.
I think I've cracked the code. Is a Paper Mario game is a game where cute little guys are just absolute bitches to you. I did want to ask also, Izzy, so like I know that like Vivian also kind of has a special place in your heart, and I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on that one.
Yeah. So I actually like playing through the first time, I didn't really pick up on like because I think there were hints in the English localization. It was obviously taking most of it out, but like there was vibes. But when I kind of got like, the understanding from the internet at large that she was a trans character originally, like I obviously hadn't figured stuff out for myself yet, fully at that point. Mm-hmm. But like that was definitely one of those things where I was like, oh, that's too bad that they didn't put that in there, and kind of had that little inkling of like, wait, why did I think that? Like, that seems weird. Why would I care? I mean, it's fine if it didn't. But, I am so happy with how they did it in the remake. And, like, I still haven't played through the remake, but, like, I have seen some of the stuff related to it. And, like, it seems so good, both in the way that, like, she announces it. Like, it's not, like, super overt, but, like, it's very much a, like, definite... Yeah, it took me a while to realize that I was their sister and not their brother, and then the bullying got even a little bit more heavy. Like, that's actually really real, and, like, I don't know who did that portion of the localization, but I have mad props for them on that one.
Nice.
And then from what I gathered, the way that the people antagonize her in that game is they use the coward's they, which is a little too real in some ways, but also that's, like, a good middle ground to not be overtly horrible.
I do love all the trans people online being like, yo, let Bedlam say the F slur.
Oh
They're like, listen, look at this little bitch over here.
Oh my god.
But no, and like I think also like it's not just like yes, it is cool representation, but also like Vivian herself is just like a really built up character. She has the most going on for her. Like you kind of you see her plight, and she has a reason to join you. And a lot of the characters, they just kind of you walk by and they're like, well, I've got nothing better to do. Like I'm on your team now. Whereas Vivian like has a whole character arc.
Yes.
Damn, now I gotta get back to that game now.
I know.
I'm just looking at the screenshot I posted.
I feel so bad for Lackey Lester. We left him out to fucking dry, but
I had to bring him up because like that was one of those things where I was like thinking of things to talk about, and I was like, you had mentioned before like partners and like who would be the best, and I was like, wait, Lackey Lester exists. That's right. I was like, because he just does not do enough, and by that point you've already built your party up so well. Like you've gotten the upgrades for at least like probably all of your characters at that point. It's just like, why would I use you?
I don't know. Guess you need somebody to help you over spikes. I don't know. Look, okay. Y'all beat me to it. My favorite is Lady Bow or Lady Bow.
She does the oh ho ho. Like,
I know,
come on,
like,
we all know.
That's a
cheap
shot for me. That's a cheap shot for me. I was like, she's cool. She runs her own castle. I love that shit. We respect her. But I gotta say second place is Flurry, because
Flurry's
I do like Flurry.
I would. I would, y'all. I don't know.
I love it because she's simultaneously like just Paper Mario BBW, but also like she's got some real like drag queen vibes to her too.
I
love.
I really appreciate her design.
It's one of those like, this is obviously meant to be cartoonishly like over sexualized. Unfortunately, I'm into that, so like, fuck it, she's number 2 for me. And I think like, I number 3 might be Twink, even though he's not really considered like a party member that joins Mario. I just think he's funny, and I
think he counts. Like he's
Twink's
basically
great.
in Peach's party, like
exactly
for the Peach segments.
I love his little sprite animations. They always make me giggle. Like, he's adorable. His little song makes me cry because it's too cute.
Yes.
He's also like you want him to succeed, but you like 10% of you just like wants to bully him.
I mean,
he's got that Tails energy.
They do have those little gags of him getting like thrown out the window, and it's like obviously played for laughs.
Yeah, it's like the gag humor where like the little child gets hurt, but it's in like a way that's not actually that bad, but it's kind of funny.
Maybe not quite literally, Yo, runner-up, Admiral Bobbery, because like
I do like Admiral Bobbery as well.
Is so cool. Like, that's just so fucking dope.
Like, I think across the board, I really appreciate what they did with the partner designs in Thousand Year Door. Because, like, the first one, they're good, but it's basically just add a few clothes. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same in both in that regard. But, like, there's definitely a level of more personality given to each of the characters' outfits in Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, they feel more inspired. Right? Just that rudder as like the
yes,
the
as a little gear.
Yeah, it's inspired.
Yeah, it's a perfect character like concept art. They really just knocked it out with that one.
I gotta give a shout out to my boy Cooper.
Cooper, yeah.
Oh, Cooper, he's like that's the me for real character. I love him. Anyway.
Yeah, Cooper's the real, like, I'm the guy who sucks and I got depression.
No, you're thinking of Coops.
Or Coops, excuse me.
Yeah, no. Coops, no. I'm talking about the Paper Mario 1 Cooper.
Yeah, the blue bandana one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A lot of people think he's, like, boring, but I'm like, no, he's so cool.
No, because he's, like, a fanboy.
Yeah, and he's like, I gotta go meet, what's his name? The archaeologist Koopa guy whose name I forget.
Yes, I did like that.
He's lame.
Yeah.
I think his only downside is that like he's a little similar to Goombario, and he's introduced right after.
Yeah, they do kind of blend personality.
Him and Goombario kind of share too many. Even though I like Goombario too, he's funny.
Yeah, I think the Paper Mario 64 characters have a little like their personality's a little bit more subtle, which is unfortunate because like it's not as like zany as like Thousand Year Door, but like it is there.
Yeah, I'm just going through these and I'm like, which one don't I like? They're all.
I know.
Maybe like
I'm
Lester.
not super fond of the light bulb in
What?
Paper Mario, whose name?
What?
Yeah.
You don't like what? That's just a little baby.
I know. I'm just
he is just a baby. He's like a diaper shitting baby. Like, why is he here? So he is one of the better party members. I like as a character, I don't care for him, but he is one of my favorite.
He's really powerful, but it's just like.
Well, I can tell you don't remember because Watt's actually a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
Cancel us. Okay, all right.
See, I didn't remember either. So
I only remember because I was looking up stuff today. And there was apparently there is one line where they mistyped and they said he instead of she. So actually people were like, well, is Watt trans too?
Oh, poor little Watt. Why don't you like
You're
Watt?
bullying an infant. But anyway.
It's just so random when you like find her. It's just like,
it is.
Oh, okay, light bulb.
She's like inside of the giant light bulb in like the cabin.
Yeah, I at least like the fact that like Watt's like a different style of Mario creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the little thing that sticks to the ground, like you know.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That makes sense.
But it's a baby.
Oh baby.
So I think we've thoroughly explored the parters of Paper Mario. So let me ask y'all another question. What does paper mean as a theme, and how has its meaning to the series changed over time?
So I have an interesting little observation, which I actually don't know if it was like an intentional thing that Nintendo was going for. But Mario's Story obviously was the title in Japan, and there was also a Yoshi Story around the exact same time that didn't have the exact same aesthetic, but it was kind of going for the same idea. And I'm kind of wondering if that was something they were trying to like push back then, or if it was just a weird coincidence. Because I don't actually know.
So obviously, like they get the idea because that era of console was really good at rendering sprites over 3D backgrounds, and so it's like it's like characters on a little book. So I think that is just a style that lends itself really well to that era's resources. But yeah, that's kind of what I was sort of leading at with this question, is that 64, its theme is more a storybook, and then Thousand Year Door is like a storybook with like, but it's paper, and we're kind of aware that we're paper. And then from then onward, it's like full on, nope, it's paper, it's not a story. We're just cutouts, isn't that funny? And then going on to Origami King, as beautiful as that game is, as much as I love that it leans into the bit, I think one of the weaker parts of it are the bosses aren't characters, they're just craft objects. They're funny puns, they're interesting designs, and like they have personalities, but they're just like, it's like a stapler is one of them.
Sticker Star had that problem too.
Yeah, because you're fighting like just objects, and I feel like like over the years it's transitioned from storybook to crafts, and I'm curious, like, is that maybe reflective of the fact that Nintendo is looking at Paper Mario as more a style and not like a story?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
It's odd that they double down on it too, like with Yoshi's Crafted Fucking World or whatever. That one is very much leaning into the whole like, what if paper, what if crafts, what if crayons and doodles and shit. And I'm like, didn't y'all do this before? What's the point of this now, you know? Even though like the previous game, Yoshi's Woolly World, was excellent. Something about it feels a little like, oh, this again, you know? I don't know if you agree with that.
No, I mean, it is unfortunate because like if they're going to cut back on the story, then it's all about the novelty, and then it just feels like they're doing the same thing.
God, I'm trying to like actually look stuff up because I remember this being like, it's related to the paper theme, and I had it actually backwards in my head because it's been a little while. But like the move from the just perfectly cut out characters to the white outlines, which actually made it look more paper-y in a way, but like it was not appreciated by a lot of people from what I remember. But I actually forget what games it was in. Like, was it in Sticker Star?
It might have been.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think it was. And I think that was maybe the problem, is people were just like, oh, it's less that it's the style that sucks, and it's more that it's associated with the game. But like, I'm not finding any screen. I know it exists. This is not like some Mandela effect. I know there was a game with white outlines.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you for sure that like Origami King has it because I did the little statue.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even if the game still had those, like, I guess visual puns on, like, playing around with the idea that everything's made of paper, it would still, maybe if it didn't take, or maybe if it didn't force the narrative to take a back seat, I don't think people would be as, like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it's less about the actual theming and more about the amount of time that it's willing to dedicate to that theme versus other aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not
cool.
important that it's paper. It's important that like it's a fun story.
Yeah, and even if like you have those things, I think it's cool. Like the thing I did like about Sticker Star was like at one point a fan blows you away and you gotta like be careful with that. Like that is, I don't mind that at all. But it does, when it feels like it came at the expense of a story, then it's like, you know, you roll your eyes. It's just okay.
Yeah, it needs to have that core. Because then, like, when you have that emotional core there, and it does a silly thing where, like, Mario gets knocked off a cliff, and then he just kind of, woo, woo.
Yeah, he just kind of,
you know, you're like, oh, okay, that's cute. It subverts, but I need to be taking this a little seriously first. So I think that's a great way to segue to another question for y'all. Why do other Paperverse indies struggle to recapture what Paper Mario does?
Huh.
Because I don't know if y'all have been seeing this growing trend, but it's more than just a couple of games. There's even a Twitter account or like a scene called like the Paperverse Direct, where they will do different games that are in that style.
Wow.
I haven't checked it a bit, but I do remember that. I think a lot of it probably stems from like a thing that a lot of, and they're not really fan games, but like they're obviously trying to capture a similar charm.
Mm-hmm.
But the kind of feeling of like overcorrecting to try to be what it's kind of like aspiring to be too much. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically like they're trying too hard to capture the charm instead of like just kind of let it be an aesthetic on their own. Like they try to capture the humor, but like it's really hard to capture humor of another game when you're like your own writer and stuff like that. So I think like, because I played Bug Fables and I felt like a lot of the writing felt like it was trying to be Paper Mario, but like it didn't really feel like it was.
Yeah, I think
like it was still fun, but yeah, you go.
But Bug Fables, I think, is probably the best one at recapturing that because it's cute, it's charming, it's based on the cast, and like it has kind of its own identity of like the bug theme. But you're right, like I think the paper is more a signifier of an intention and not actually like a meaningful quality for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I know also there's that one game, I forget the name of it. It's maybe like 5 or 10 years old, but like you're playing as like the henchman and you have this sort of Shy Guy looking mask. And that game was also praised for being like, it's a timing based game and it's actually the timing is based on the soundtrack as well. But that one did not. That's one of the few like Paper Mario style games that did not have a paper style. But a lot of these games are like strictly like we're gonna be like Paper Mario, and we have the same like badge system, small mechanics, no random encounters. But like
I didn't know any of
it
this.
also needs to have the paper, even though that's like not the important part.
I had no idea there were indie games that were straight up just taking that aesthetic and running with it.
It's not a lot, but it's more than you would think.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Look it up.
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting here wondering, like, have I played it? Because I play games that use, like, flat sprites in a 3D world, but I don't think that counts, really.
It depends, yeah. Like, there are definitely games that kind of just use that. Like, Octopath Traveler did that. And, like, you know, games like that where it's, like, it's more just, like, we want to keep that sprite look, but we also want to have, like, 3D worlds. And I think, like, you know, that doesn't really count. But, like, I think the ones that go for the paper aesthetic, like, are pretty obvious when they do it.
Born of Bread was one that had been getting a lot of attention.
I know at least for myself, I've seen RPGs that do try to copy the pacing of the battles, like the low damage ratios, the timed hits in different like sequences, not just like pressing one button, but like analog stick functions. And the one thing that always turns me off with these like trailers whenever I see like this style of gameplay is that they focus too much on like like having that, and I still personally don't know if this is an intentional thing or not, but just having that in that like slowed pace, like intentionally slowed down combat flow that just makes it feel like a grind. It just turns me off. It's like I don't know if this is it, y'all. Like I know Paper Mario had like a slower pace, but I think it made up for it with like not having attacks that are gonna take like a whole minute to execute, just because you wanted to have all that flourish.
Like, I remember getting really excited for Y2K because I'm like, yeah, JRPG timed action combat. But like
that's exactly how I felt playing
the attacks in that game take way too long.
It's like it's fine if you're gonna like I think Yokai Watch did this where like the attacks are kind of mini games, but it doesn't come at the expense of the combats are short. And that's the point. But when I remember playing Yik 2, like not 2, but also, and being like, bro, I get what you're trying to go for. It's got the Earthbound 64 like vibe, but you have to control like the pacing of combat is important. You can't just have it be like, oh, remember this? You do it like that. It's because I'm gonna be stuck in this one random encounter for 15 minutes. I don't want that. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think it's a huge bonus that like those Paper Mario combats, they do not take long, and I think that really helps because it keeps them from getting too repetitive.
Yeah, and it's just 2 characters, so each of them have an action. You go dot 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 bam. That's it. That's your attack, and then you block, and it's controlled. Like there's an intent behind that pacing, and I feel like that gets missed in a lot of these I guess tributes.
Going from like the indies that are trying to be Paper Mario, what do the non-paper RPGs do better or worse than Paper Mario? So this includes 7 Stars, Mario and Luigi, versus Rabbids, and if you want to get kind of froggy with it, you can include golf and tennis on the Game Boy.
Oh god, tennis on the Game Boy, I'm definitely going to be talking about. That game was amazing.
You already threw me a curveball with the Rabbids shit.
Yeah, well, it's a tactics RPG.
Oh, what the fuck? Is that... Does that make it count?
I kind of want to play that. I've never gotten around to it, but it's apparently pretty good.
I've heard it's actually pretty good.
It's Mario XCOM is all I know.
Yeah. It literally, yeah.
And I like that the Rabbids actually seem kind of funny in that. Like there's the one Peach Rabbit that's like always on her phone and kind of... Again, it's the same thing. It's funny little guys that are bitches to you.
I can't go down this path with y'all. Anyway, let's start. Who wants to go first?
I kind of have the weirdest one, I think. So I will go. Yeah, so like I feel like probably most people do not realize, but the handhelds, I guess it was both the handheld and the console games, but the Mario Tennis and golf games were developed by Camelot. Who did the Golden Sun games.
That's right.
And you could feel a lot of influence with some of the stats you can get. Because, like, literally, like, you can min-max your, like, tennis player to have unreasonable slice to be so powerful that, like, they cannot return back. Like, it is so cool. Like, you can get an, like, weighted racket that makes you suck, but gives you more experience and, like, levels you up faster. Like, it's one of those things where, like, they put way more effort than they had to in the funny Game Boy Color Mario Tennis game, and I loved it growing up. Like, it kind of blew my mind. And the fact that you could transfer that character into the N64 and they would be just as busted
that's awesome.
Was beautiful. Like, yeah, that is, like, something that I miss from the older generations. Like, there's really, like, I mean, there are some games where it's like, oh, it's cloud-based and you can move your character, blah, blah, blah. But, like, that sort of, like, physical transfer of like a character from one thing to another was like mind-blowing back then. It's still like really cool to think about now.
Yeah, not a lot of games do it even now.
I had no idea that it is it with the transfer pack?
Like yeah, you put a transfer pack in and you just like put the cartridge in, you got all your characters from the Game Boy Color in the N64. Yeah.
Also, yes, I love that they are like basically developed by Golden Sun staff. Even Motoi Sakuraba, the composer, worked on Mario.
Yeah, it's got some pan flutes in it.
Yeah. You know it.
Well, what about you, Jorge? What are some like mainline paper RPGs that do something either better or worse that you wanna highlight?
I want to highlight Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Yeah.
I think that game, I remember everything that I was disappointed with Paper Mario, that game gave me in spades. Aside from not having party members, which is the only thing I didn't like about it, it had the type of time command. Wait, I forgot the name! Oh my god. The timed inputs system is elevated to like what I wanted like the next Mario RPG to be, where you have combined techniques and abilities that all depend on like different button inputs. It keeps things entertaining. It's the same composer, Yoko Shimomura. It has the right pacing. And even though Paper Mario I grew to like as its own thing over time, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga gave me the things I wanted Paper Mario to give me, and that was like the punchiness, the aesthetic, the colorful, like upbeat. Yeah, I'm doing a little dance. You can't see me, but like,
the little like the dance they do when it's doing the like.
Whenever. Like, it's
yes,
I can say that, and you can picture it in your mind's eye.
Yeah. And then like all of these things, including like a new villain, like it wasn't Bowser again, it was Cackletta.
Cackletta, Fawful rules.
And Fawful, you know, we all love Fawful. Peasley, he's cool too. All these, like, it gave me all these little like it made the world bigger, and that's what I wanted out of a Mario RPG. Even though, again, as time went on, I came to appreciate Paper Mario 64, and I do think it does some of these things. I just remember being so happy when I was playing Superstar Saga. Like, this is it. This is Mario RPG 2. It feels like it. It doesn't look like it, and it doesn't have the same kind of story, but it feels like it, and that's important. That's all I needed. And I unfortunately I can't tell you exactly like what made that so. Because I never really put any thought into it. Because as time went on, then Mario and Luigi started decaying as a series as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I like my brother asked me for Brothership for Christmas, and it's like, well, I can't not get my brother Brothership. That's too perfect,
bro. Like,
but I knew that game was not amazing. I'm sorry, Dan.
I had already read the reviews. I remember when I decided not to buy Brothership because I read the reviews. I'm like, this doesn't sound like it's for me. I'm good, fam. Margot, my wife, messages me, and she's like, I want this for Christmas. I'm like, okay, I guess we're getting it. I'm not gonna say no to you. But
I can't believe this is a running trend with familial Christmas gifts of less than stellar Mario Luigi games.
I mean, it is what it is. But I would say Mario and Luigi did like the thing I wanted Paper Mario to do.
Yeah, and I don't have too much to add to this, but like I think we kind of mentioned how like cool Rabbids is, and I think this really just kind of helps me appreciate the fact that like, you know, Izzy, you mentioned tennis, and like the Rabbids like showed that you could make me care about the Rabbids, even though like, I don't. The blasters part of that game is just kind of weird. I wish they flavored it as in a way that was more like Mario themed.
Yeah, that's what I.
It's weird to see them with the little guns.
They have guns.
Yeah, they do too.
Remember when Miyamoto came out with one
has
of those?
a gun. in Mario and Rabbids is a full sentence that I said.
But
don't cut any of that out of context.
People say it's good.
But yeah, getting back to actual topics, I think that just shows me that like it doesn't actually matter if it is strictly like the small numbers combat. Like you can make me care by just having it be funny and charming, or like try interest. Like it doesn't mean that like the next Paper Mario has to be that RPG combat. I think we're all just sore because like it is so good, but you know there's things we appreciate about these other games that like yeah, if you gave me a Mario Tennis RPG with like a cool cast, like I'd play that.
Yeah.
So to maybe just pull back even further, let's wrap things up with our closing thoughts, where we take a moment to summarize what we discussed and what we want to take away from this topic. You know, if you want to summarize kind of how you feel after this conversation, but also just answer the question, you know, what would be your perfect Paper Mario? If you have any ideas, go right ahead.
I think definitely, like, it kind of got brought up several times, but, like, if there was a, like, 1,000-year door 2, like, a third game in the original lineage of Paper Mario.
You're right, because they are
style.
connected.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, if that existed, and, like, you know, it kind of just timeline shifted away from the Sticker Star verse, like, I think that even if it was done poorly, as long as it did have like very good cast, like good writing, and it actually had a story, I think it would still be probably leagues above the other like recent titles. So that's what I would love to see. And they actually brought back 1,000-Year Door. I didn't think that they would ever do that, so maybe it'll do just well enough that it'll be like maybe
fine.
Maybe we're a little hasty, and we did notice that people were very much sending horrible things about the Sticker Star, but you know.
Well, and maybe newer, younger folks that have more clout can say like, no, you know, like I want this game to have a story, and also the story is not just like the actual plot, but it's like kind of the ways that you interact in this world. And I think that's, you know, an RPG is to like inhabit a space. And I don't think you get to do that in Sticker Star, and you kind of do that in Call. Like, the more you're actually in a world, the better these games are. So, yeah, I think for me, you're right, like, it just has to have that heart. It just has to be a space where I have people in it that I learn to care about, and then throw in a jamming soundtrack and some good combat, and, you know, I'll be happy.
Yeah. I would. You know, I think in that aspect, we all agree. I kind of just want 1,000-Year Door Part 2 or Paper Mario Part 3. Just continue that upward, like where we were going, that upward trend of like expanding upon the world, keeping that emotional core of the game, like that. It's witty, but it has a heart. It's a little bit mean, but it's still nice, you know. It's hard to really define these things like concretely for something like Paper Mario. But yeah, just like I said earlier, even if you just gave me like a bunch of funny little guys, take all these enemies or familiar characters from the Mario world and make them into funny partners, that would still be better than what we got.
Yeah, and like I was imagining it just now, like what if they did like a card game or something? Like they can change it up quite a bit if it has to be new, it has to be novel, you know. But it just, like you said, it has to have that heart.
That's all.
Paper Balatrio.
God, no.
Please, do not curse us. Do not manifest us.
Actually, no, I joke, but like, given what they did with the Pokemon mod, I bet someone could actually make that, and it could actually make it pretty interesting.
I mean, I'd be down for any RPG that implements cards is an instant play for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, though, the only world I want to inhabit, though, is the Question Zone.
Welcome to the Question Zone. Get ready.
Yes, we've solicited a number of questions. You can contact us at brainlordspod@gmail.com. Jorge, our inquiries are...
Oh, right, our inquiries.
Sorry, could you read them
They're
off for
here.
me? I mean,
They're here.
Thank you.
All right. Oh my goodness. Guru Guru Girulu asks, what Mario character or enemy would you want to see as a partner in a Paper Mario game?
What's one that hasn't been done?
Mine's
well,
easy.
The Chain Chomp obviously is like the first one that comes to mind because it was about to be done.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with that too.
You know who I want in a Paper Mario game to be my friend? Nabbit.
What's that?
Good old Nabbit. I want him to have a story arc, and I want him to join me and be my friend.
Ooh, yeah, what if he's like the compulsive kleptomaniac too? And you're like, you always have to set him right, even though he's like, maybe he always kind of has a point. But you're like, no, stop stealing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get back here.
Listen, I just, you're going to learn this about me, Izzy, but Nabbit is like my favorite Mario character.
Honestly, fair.
I love him so much. He's like the best thing to happen to modern Mario is Nabbit. And when they brought back Pauline. Anyway.
Paper Pauline would be pretty cool. I would love to see a piranha plant, because I think you could do a lot of funny gag humor with like having him be a potted plant and he hops around.
Yeah, and we haven't had a character like that.
You know, if we want to go the like bow or flurry route, you could make it a girl one with luscious lips and have everyone go in wood. Give it the like
Smash, like the 1,000-Year Door mod.
Yeah. Give them like the Little Shop of Horrors lips.
Oh goodness, yeah, I'd be in trouble.
But yeah, I think honestly the first one that came to mind when I heard the question was Sniff It, because I think that would actually be fun from like a combat,
mechanical perspective. Yeah.
Which one?
Because they've got like Sniff It's the one that like spits out like rapid fire bullets from their nose, like they're like the Shy Guy, but with like
the ones that are in Booster's Tower.
Yeah, those exactly.
But yeah, mine also kind of goes, if it was more of an off-the-wall one, the Dolphins from Super Mario World, which are, like, they have a lot of personality. They're very, like, consistent in that game. They didn't get really used
Not really,
after.
No. Yeah. They have their little...
Izzy,
that might be fun.
You're a bird enthusiast. What's a good Mario bird that would make for a partner?
Oh, God, what is that one called?
There's Raphael the Raven, but he just has bare feet, and I draw the line.
There was the bird in Super Mario Brothers 2.
The little penguin guy, yeah.
The one in the carpet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's Pigeon.
Okay, that's
good. Yeah.
He's funny. Oh, you just reminded me, Ninja would be awesome too.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, Ninja would be so good.
See, this is what pisses me off. It's like, all we're doing is like having the best pitch meeting ever. And like... You know, we can like, oh yeah, the ninja, like the penguin could pull out its carpet, and that can help you traverse things.
Yeah,
and maybe
he's
they're
the
like
flying type. Yeah.
It's like it's so easy. Jesus, making games is hard. Maybe the most impossible thing you can do, but coming up with funny little ideas like this.
Oh my goodness. All right, next question. Flat Peach Theory asks, can any other IP have a paper spinoff? And I think this is like not just Mario, but like any other.
Yeah.
Like what favorite series of yours could have a paper spin-off?
That's tough.
There's a couple.
We talked about how like it doesn't really matter that it's paper. What's important is the heart. But
what if it did?
Oh.
I am thinking though, like it would have to thematically make sense.
Yeah,
like because like you couldn't have a paper Metroid. I don't think that would work.
Yeah.
It could be a little cute, but like I'm thinking honestly. One thing that immediately jumps to me is actually Fire Emblem. I don't know why, but I feel like that one is the most like, epic story sort of deal. Like making like cutesier Fire Emblem.
Also, it doesn't have to be Nintendo either. Like just like anyone you can think.
Oh, that's true actually.
Yeah, and Fire Emblem with like smaller numbers, small numbers tactics game that could be really satisfying.
Oh, you know what else? Actually, you know what? I changed my answer. Make a Pokemon spinoff similar to Mystery Dungeon, but make it like a paper story.
Oh,
I think that like lends itself well.
What about you?
It's hard.
I feel like my answer is a little too easy, and I feel like it's already been done. I think.
Yeah.
And I'm just subconsciously thinking about that, but like Final Fantasy, like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cheat as well and say Paper Dragon Quest is like. Because it would have to be like a magic book that you open up and...
Boo! Okay, Okay.
That's like me being like, oh, the next Persona game, they should do a crossover with JoJo.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta come up with a better answer than that. Let me look at my game wall. Maybe I can come up with something.
I'm trying to think what other like would me like well in a cutesy sort of paper is that, because I think that's like the biggest thing. Is like Mario, like the art style of the characters works very well. Because like I think the simplicity and like just the fact that they can be drawn in such like a cartoony way and still be very, very recognizable.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I don't think everything has that, but
I'll change my answer slightly.
All right.
Paper Shinten.
Like
do
Tensei?
like the Shin Megami Tensei monsters, but they're all like fighting on
okay, yeah,
like cute or like horrifying.
Sure. Yeah, I can see that.
Also, because like Shin Megami
heard...
Tensei has been multiple different types of genres. Like they've been a dungeon crawler or like a tactics game, so it can be lots of things.
Listen, Kyle, I've never heard anyone call it Shinten. This is...
You told me it's supposed to be Shinten if you're like that kind of nerd.
Megaten. If you're that kind of nerd, it's Megaten, yeah.
Okay,
that's the point of no return.
Wow, that one's even less fun to say.
Kind of. You know, I would... This is going to be kind of out of nowhere. But I would love to play like a Pocky and Rocky, like a cute, like a cute.
Because that's got funny little guys.
Yeah, like a cute 'em up, but like in paper style, and like when Rocky throws his leaves, it like cuts them in half. Or when you get the power up, you burn them. The
maybe
yokai.
It's like a tactical breach wizards where you have to consider how you're throwing the purification shrine things.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of something I could think of was, like
Pocky Rocky has a great cast that you can make, like choose any yokai and make him into a fun character with like a weird backstory.
It'd be so cute.
Mm-hmm. Damn, hire us, Nintendo.
Hire this man.
So finally, I would like to end with a trip to the Rec Room, where we recommend something inside and outside the world of gaming that might complement our panel. Izzy, do you have any recommendations for things not related to gaming?
Oh, okay, not recommended to gaming? God. I mean, listen, my mind goes...
Last week, mine was like a Chinese sauce, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you don't. It's just whatever. It's just encouraging to have outside interests and hobbies.
Yeah, whatever you like got into last week.
But if you have an indie game that you like, I know you've been all about that downhill snowboarding one.
So yeah, that game. There's apparently going to be something. People are speculating that in 4 days, something is going to get released on that. And maybe like a trailer or a release date, so I'm very excited. Descenders next.
The name of the game I always forget.
Yeah, Descenders next. So Descenders was a roguelite mountain biking game. Descenders next is a roguelite mountain boarding and snowboarding game. I also have another one that I want to throw out that it's not really new, but it's new to me, and it is a Mario game, kind of. So are you familiar with Himply, developer of the Baba Is You game?
Did they do something new?
I mean, they've done a lot, but in particular, they did a game that a friend of mine streamed recently, and it's a Mario game. So I will say before I say what it is, content warning for body horror and arachnid type characters. It is the plumber thing. And it is a Mario game where Mario is kind of just the Thing from the movie The Thing. Okay. And it is a puzzle platformer where you have to modify your body mass in order to overcome obstacles. And it is one of the wildest things I have seen in a long time. And if you like Bob Is You, the puzzles share some similarities.
Okay.
So... if you want a $2 Mario game that will take 4 to 5 hours to 100%, and that's just very weird and very interesting. That is what I will recommend.
Okay.
I know you just moved too, so I'm sure life is just kind of like. But yeah, if you have any other non-video game recommendations, feel free.
How about a movie?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to hit you with an animated movie that has easily topped my charts recently, which is Wolfwalkers from, I think, 2020. It's by the studio that did Song of the Sea and...
oh, okay.
Oh, what's the other one? Secret of the Kells? Yes.
Yeah,
Wolfwalkers is genuinely the best thing I think they've ever put out. It is beautiful. It takes place in the English occupation of Ireland, and it doesn't shy away from the themes of that time.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
It is just beautiful. The characters are great. The music is amazing. I have watched that movie probably 11 times with different friend groups at this point.
That's high praise too, because like Song of the Sea left me sobbing.
Song of the Sea was good. Wolfwalkers is better.
Damn. All right.
So Wolfwalkers.
Yes.
Did I get that right? Okay, I gotta put that on my queue.
Yeah, I have a couple of anime because you recommended me the Mars Express.
Oh, I love that movie. Holy shit.
But sorry, go ahead, Jorge. Do you have any recommendations?
Did I recommend Mars Express last episode?
No, you. I don't think you did.
Now, because I guess that's what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Sorry to force your hand.
I know, but I mean, I want more people to watch this movie because it kind of went under a lot of people's radar, even though it's like a fantastic animated movie. Like, it made me. It's one of those things that reminds you why you like animation. It got me on that level where it's like, oh crap, this is why I'm an artist. Like, it's that good. And it's if you like animated sci-fi specifically, I got a lot of like I was able to reminisce on like Ghost in the Shell. Oh my god, there's another one I'm trying to think, but it has that level of like sci-fi. The Animatrix. That's the other thing it kind of brought back to me was like that level of sci-fi where it's like really profound, really wants you to think about like in the context of the world, what does this mean for us, like what we're living now. What I love about it is that it is a story about, you know, defining humanity when in the age of like artificial intelligence and robots. But then it elevates it. It does something surprising, which is like it kind of gives you a step further of like, well, what happens after that, which is where I feel a lot of stories kind of stop, is like, you know, robots live the end. And that's not spoiling the movie. It's a completely different story than that, which is what I'm saying. And yeah, it was beautiful. Also, like very nicely animated, really good character designs. A mix of CG and like hand drawn that like they get right, which I love. Yeah, that it's funny because like before that I was gonna recommend another animated thing I'm into now, which is like Common Side Effects.
I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, and that one is still running, so I guess I'll know for sure how I feel about it when it's over. So I can't really fully advocate for it yet, but it is nice. Again, very well animated. Some subjects that reflect on reality, specifically like the U.S. medical system as an industry. Things that, you know, resonate with us right now. There you go. I kind of cheated and got 2 recommendations in.
I mean, that's a very poignant thing too. So
it's too real, almost to an annoying point where it's like, God damn it, yeah, we know.
And look, Breaking Bad wouldn't have happened if we just had a better healthcare system.
Yeah. I was thinking Breaking Bad the second you said healthcare system, because that's like the pinnacle of. Oh well.
I mean, he probably still would have found some other reason to go like psycho, but nah.
It's one of those like only in the U.S. kind of stories.
Yeah.
But
no, I guess going to me, I would like to recommend, if you really like the soundtrack of Paper Mario, 64 specifically, and even some of the others, listen to Pat Metheny.
Okay.
He's a jazz musician. You know his work because of the outro song for JoJo Part 3, the last trip home. He did that. And if you listen to some of his jazz music, it's like, oh my god, this is just a Mario song. It's really, really obvious. Like some of the like you'll hear like, oh, this is like a Yoshi island. Like it's so like in the same way that you'll listen to like the Beatles after Earthbound. Like do Pat Metheny for Mario stuff, and you'll see all the connections are all there. And literally, like the composer for Paper Mario said that was a thing. I think it's a woman that she is really into. So.
That's awesome. I will definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
And then I guess for a video game related thing, I've really been enjoying Keep Driving a lot. It's a little driving simulator game. You're not actually driving, you're planning the route. You're eating snacks to stave off negative status effects.
Oh, yeah,
you're picking up hitchhikers.
Yeah.
It's very much like you are in the early 2000s in your like family, in your like first car, and it's a shitty sedan, and you're trying to get to like a music festival. But what I thought was just going to be like a cute little spin on Oregon Trail ended up being this like really cool story generating thing where you're finding different endings of like one of them is just get to the music festival, but things can happen along your path that sort of change the trajectory of your trip to be like, you know what, like I picked up this hitchhiker that's all about like hiking and stuff, and he gives me debuffs when I go into cities. So I'm taking all these roughs. He wants me to take me to go to the mountain, and like maybe I should just go up this entire mountain because why not? I've been taking all these rough paths this whole time anyways. And so it ends up being just this lovely little like story generator where like after I beat my first run, it had a little snapshot of the ending I unlocked, and when I hovered over it, it was like 1,200 kilometers driven. Like, I remember this trip. I ate so many snacks, and that was like I got a debuff from like eating way too many cheap fast food options. Apparently, like I didn't know I could get a negative thing for doing that. Or like, and I did this, and like remember when I did this? So it had like a tally of all the interesting things that I did, and it just made a little vignette, even though it's just the ending. Like it's just I met this character and I went to X destination. That's all I really did, but it made it into something more than it was. So it's a delight, and the soundtrack is like actual real bands, and it owns. It's so good. It's some like real just like Midwest emo and like that era of like alt and pop and punk.
Keep driving.
Yeah, lovely little game. I got it for it's $17, and I'm sure it's gonna have like a big content update that adds more stuff because I think it's doing pretty all right. So.
Hey, wait, did I recommend the game? Did I forget?
Go for it.
Oh, I forgot. Crap. Okay. Play Unicorn Overlord, please.
I'm so glad that you really liked. I mean, I knew you would, but
I thought I wouldn't because the first 10 hours of it are kind of a slog, to be honest. But like
really, because I feel like it picks up pretty quick.
It picked up for me once I was able to expand units and like really do some crazy stuff in like the turn orders, because like and then when I started upgrading characters and their designs really start looking more interesting, and characters start having personalities. This game kind of starts out and you think, oh, this is just like another like fantasy medieval like king, true heir of the throne has to take back the country. But the more you play it, the more unique in every aspect. The more you play it, gameplay wise, story wise, characters, they all start shining as their own like individual qualities. And I'm hooked. I have clocked 105 hours into this game.
Oh my god!
I
mean, that's the kind of game that lets you, if you want to put time into it, you can.
Yeah, and it's one of those like the missions are like the perfect length. Every stage can be like 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah. And like you do one every day, and that's it just has that really nice bite-sized gameplay.
Well, what's great about it, too, is, like, if you want to get deep into it, you can, but you'll probably win the mission if you just use a few items. Yeah, but, like, it feels so good to just completely obliterate your opponent.
If you're already familiar with tactics games, it is kind of on the easy side. And if you're not, then it does enough to, like, help you get by.
Well, you can just look up like what's a cool build and kind of have fun with that, so.
Reddit is super helpful with this. Like, there's people are like showing off their builds and telling you like, and they're not shy about telling you like what they do, how do they program each character. So
well, it's more about like how do you want to break the game.
Yeah, and that aspect is, and then there's a lot of like really nice character designs in it. I've come to grow fond of a lot of them. So yeah, please, Vanillaware is one of my favorite devs, and they knocked it out of the park again.
I mean, we've been talking about games with like charming characters and cool like battle mechanics like all evening, and it's no different.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I haven't heard of this, but it looks very interesting.
Oh yeah, no, it's the newest game by Vanillaware, and it's great. If you like want to something that kind of expands off of a Fire Emblem or an Ogre battle, it's doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah,
and like the without getting too deep into it, the combat is like pre-programmed, but you are making instructions like computer programming to say, if this, then this, thing. Unless this.
You're basically
and it's not
I appreciate this.
Coding your team, like every attack, you tell them what sequence, depending on whose initiative, who goes first.
Yeah.
That's
if I'm fighting a cavalry unit, use this move. If I'm fighting, but else do the buff.
You can have anti-air attacks, but you can tell the character only use this if there's an anti-air or an aerial unit. And that's where the game really starts shining as its own thing. Because at first I kind of took it to be like, oh, you know, it's Ogre Battle. You have like 5 characters in a team. But no, like, the more you play it, the more unique it gets. It's surprising me in that way. Like, usually I play a game and it's good first, and then it goes like down. But this was the opposite, where it's like it was okay at first, and then it like just gets better. So there you go. Anyway, that's it.
Well, this has been Brain Lords. You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, wherever at BrainLordsPod. You can find me on social media as Cute Monster Props. Jorge, where can they find you?
You can find me under the toilet. No, I'm kidding. I am J-Man Velez. That's JManVelez on social media.
And Izzy, where can they find you on your various, hopefully streaming adventures?
Yeah, you can follow me at twitch.tv/Oceanity. That's Oceanity. And then over on Blue Sky, I'm Oceanity.live because I'm extra and I get
I need to figure out how to change mine to my Shopify, but...
Oh, I can easily help you with that.
I just need to look where the thing is. Anyways.
Nice.
Yeah. But,
hey, before we go, big thanks to Izzy. Thank you for being our first guest.
Yeah.
This was very fun. I'm glad. Like, I was a little nervous. I was like, oh god, I've been kind of like, I haven't touched paper art in a few years now. Am I underprepared? But no, this was great.
I'm glad.
Yeah. I hyped you up because I know we've had like meaningful conversations about games, and that's all this is meant to be, with a couple of dumb jokes.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate it very
thank
much.
you so much for joining us and being our first guest. So, but
if you ever want me it back, just let me know, because I would definitely love to do it again.
Well, we already had an Earthbound episode. I'm sorry. It was about my children keep playing Earthbound.
Damn.
Well, if you have a fighting game or rhythm game episode,
that's true.
Sure, we'll keep.
Because I just check up all the trans girl. What's the word?
You are into Celeste.
Yeah, Celeste, fighting games, rhythm games, programming, like...
Oh, I know about the programming, yes.
I'm the Fallout New Vegas girly of the bunch here, so...
I need to play that again. God, like, that's one of those games that I think about it every, like, so often. I'm just like, yeah, I could do another playthrough.
Alright, well, maybe when I start playing Fallout New Vegas, we can do another episode.
We'll figure it out. But your questions, comments, and inquiries, and favorite trans girl activities can go to brainlordspod@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube and all other places where podcasts are born. Thanks for listening. And Jorge, I'm trying out some new outros.
Hit me one.
So I don't know if this one's too abrasive, but how about this? We've been your Brain Lords for tonight. Fuck content. Play forever.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. I like it too.
Ronaldinho success!